Good morning, Morgan.
Morning, Mr. Freeman.
Good morning, Joyce.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hello.
Rise and shine, Stubby. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, Joyce.
Wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Brunch with Boater. I didn't realize that light was going to be so prominently in frame there, but that's how we're going today, I guess. Maybe I'll turn it on, see how long it lasts. I don't feel like it. Anyway, hi, how's everybody doing today? We are going to be playing some I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. I just realized that I wanted to rearrange things here because I'm sick of this VHS light turning itself off midstream. I'll figure out something else to do with it. But we're going to get into the game in just a moment. First off, though, I do want to point out that kind of unnoticed at the bottom of the stream there has been a panel for W, which is the brand of energy and hydration. I always just do the hydration because I don't really go for the energy drink stuff too much. But the energy drink brand that I am partnered with, normally using code BOATER at checkout gets you 10% off. However, this is a creator appreciation week, and so this weekend being the last couple days to do it, then get 30% off. Right, the timer says 30%, but I didn't change that one because I knew I wouldn't be able to change it back. Yeah, there we go. That's in chat. The timer will take care of it. So, don't see anyone in chat right now from the pre-roll, so we are just going to get into the stream. Game is right there. I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. We've had a lot of fun with this. We're, again, probably just going to do one single but year. Oh my god. This is not boding well for braining today. I believe we are 16 now. So let's get into the game, see where we are, see what we're trying to do. Yes, we are turning 16 now. So let's talk to everyone. The last attack during Glow wasn't that bad, as I recall. Tammy's sitting on a stoop to the lounge, her face turned up to the sun. Another beautiful day. Anything back here? No, okay. What's going on, Tang? You and Tang are talking when a group of children bumbles boisterously past you. Tang rolls her eyes. I've always prided myself on not acting like other teenagers. I'm simply not like other teenagers. Oh, we should set goals for ourselves. She's watching Vase. Our engineering is almost 80. We're ignoring Vase because we don't talk to fascists. So cool seeing both of our parents alive. Your dad starts awkwardly. So, here's a weird question. Someone told you about the birds and the bees, right? At your blank look, he goes pink across the bridge of his nose. You know, pollination? How little tomato heads are made? Appalled, you quickly nod. He lets out a sigh of relief. Oh, good. I wasn't looking forward to that one. You learned at a young age not to sneak up on your mom. Okay. You spot your mom conferring with Cal, pointing out various places to deliver supplies to prepare for planting. Cal is listening intently, almost worshipfully, as she explains the crop rotations for the next 5 years and how it'll affect soil nutrition and yield. Mom catches your eye and nods, and Cal turns to see you. Hey, Sabote, what's up? You need me? I don't see Mars. She's up here. Don't touch me. I just did my nails, and if you mess them up, I'm going to scream until the adults come and throw you in space jail for crimes against sophistication. Okay. Nice to see you're doing well. Rex and Nomi are curled up together, his head on their lap as they watch something on Nomi's hollow palm. Nomi pauses the show and Rex grumbles sleepily. He must have almost drifted off. Hi, hi, Nomi says, scritching behind Rex's ears. You want to watch Turbo Girl Hyperjet transform with us? We're almost ready to start the OVAs. Rex is playing a game where he throws a ball up in the air as high as he can and tries to catch it without using his hands. You narrowly miss him running right into you, and the ball bounces away. Shucks, he exclaims, twirling his big furry ear. I was on a roll. Do you need something? Alright, what? We can get some creativity. Oh, we're injured and should rest. Physical skill increases reduced by 1. Yeah, we should do that and get rid of that so we can do physical increases if we want. Maybe getting combat up, I'm not sure. Where do we want to rest? Maybe we can get more training with our pet done by resting in the park. +1 bond, yay. Cal and Tammy often go for walks through the garden. They both know so much about plants. Besides your mom, who planted the garden, they're probably the only two who know what everything's called without looking it up on the Holonaut. They've been best friends forever. Aww. These games are interesting but a little hard to use. So, and it's a 1 at base. So, the sun rises again after glow, heralding a new year. It's your 16th birthday. You wake in your new quarters, blinking into the watery sunlight. Dust motes float through the air, and you take a moment to enjoy the perfection of your bed while you listen to the sounds of the colony waking up outside. So much has happened in 1 year. Just a few short months ago, you thought your life was over. Now it's better than ever. There's plenty of food, the colony's safe, you even have your own bedroom. You're considering snoozing until your parents wake up when your reverie is interrupted by someone knocking at the door. It's Cal and Tammy! Cool, thank you for the -10 stress after I already rested. They try to enter the room at the same time, get stuck in the doorframe, and laugh. Cal does a corny bow like Tammy's a princess, and she enters first carrying a cake. Happy birthday, Tammy exclaims. Cal comes in and stands right behind her, his hand on her back. Wait, are you two dating? Tammy turns red and twirls a lock of hair behind her ear, and Cal steps up proudly. We sure are, he says. He looks at Tammy, who gives him a flustered, happy smile. Since the last attack, actually. I asked her out. Thanks for telling me I should go for it. Your parents wake up shortly after that, and you order up your traditional birthday breakfast feast. Your dad gives you a big squeezy hug and tells you he's proud of you. My last playthrough, both my parents were dead on my 16th birthday. I was still trying to flirt with Anemone and it wasn't going well. Okay. We might do some exploration. Tammy's got something. What's going on? Tammy beams when she sees you like there's nothing better in the world than the sight of your face. Happy birthday, Sabote, she exclaims. She comes in for her annual birthday hug, throwing her arms around you and giving you a great big squeeze. I got you this! She steps back and reaches into one of the many deep pockets on her dress, producing a little paper box. And I made you this, she laughs, opening it to reveal a little snack-sized cake. You take a bite. The cake is light and flavorful and drenched in sugar bug syrup. Oh no. It's delicious. Thanks to Helio's hydroponics and the help of some native flora and fauna, Tammy's cooking abilities come a long way from dressing up soy rations. Tammy watches you eat the cake with a look of delighted satisfaction. You can share it if you want. That'd make you happy. Of course I'll share it with you. I was kidding. I made my own silly Billy. Let's eat them together. Yay. Just the free friendship with Tammy on your birthday every year. Okay, what do we want to accomplish? Our combat could go up. We could get more organizing. Organizing, creativity, and to a lesser extent, empathy are all getting up there. And I think tutoring helps with that, so let's see. Repair robots. Engineering, creativity. Tutor children is reasoning and empathy. A little bit of empathy. I know that... Actually, hold on. What was... Repair robots was engineering and creativity. Over here we've got the depot thing. Deliver supplies. That's organization and perception. Perception? Perception, which is already maxed. The organizing is a plus. Let's do this and see if we can get organizing all the way up first. You've heard through the colony rumor mill that the secret Fun Times Club, a club that Mars started when you were kids aboard the Stratospheric, has been operating this whole time. When you ask Mars about it, she graciously allows you to sit in on the next meeting. The mood, as Mars calls the meeting to order, is somber. Anemone won't be joining us today, she announces, or probably ever again. She told me she's too busy with training and stuff, and she didn't want to do any more sneaking around. It's okay, she was kind of a square anyway, but we need someone to replace her. Some of the Helio kids are pretty cool, she says. They like clubs and stuff, right? We should talk to them and see if they want to join the SFC. Mars stops and holds up her finger. Oh, and it's just SFC now. Secret Fun Times Club was okay when we were little, but we're practically adults now. What about the new Governor Lum? Tang asks. I know he's technically an adult, but he's fairly young. It'd be beneficial to have someone with some actual clout on our side. Absolutely not, Tang! Mars gives Tang a withering look. We already have someone important in the club, Tang, but thank you for your contribution. I mean, Lum's alright. Kinda dumb, but like, you don't have to be smart to be hot, you know? I can't believe Utica just let him be in charge. I've listened in on some of his council meetings, and they are total chaos. It's like he has no idea what he's doing. That's kinda mean, Mars. I'm sure he's trying, Tammy says. I'm sure he's trying his best. We should invite him over for snacks and tea and see if he needs help learning how to fit in. And shouldn't we be trying to have fun, not getting involved in politics? On that note, who do you approach to join the club? Nomi! Definitely not face. A club? Nomi asks when you bring it up. Well, maybe. I am looking for more people to play Laser Fable with me. It's no fun with just me and Rex. Hey, wait, can Rex join? Because Rex is my best friend, and anywhere I go, he comes too. It's been that way forever since we were kids, and there's no way I'm letting him feel left out. Looks like you got another 2. Okay, all cards to the right become mental. Oh my god, and I have wild card blue cards. That card becomes a 3 is an absolute pain. Because I don't have... Yeah, there we go. +5 organizing. Did that do it? Yes, it did! Equip an additional gear. Ooh. We'll take that. We'll take that. New perk. Equip additional gear. So we can do 3 now. And I think we took this one out. Yeah, so now we got +1 to all. Looking well on the throughway. Sounds good, Griff Kuba. Drive careful. Now, let's see if anyone wants to... Ooh, Rex. You find Rex playing cards by himself in the lounge with an actual physical set of cards. He looks up as you approach and visibly brightens when he sees you, sitting up straight with his dog-like ears on alert. Well, hey, Sabote! He exclaims. How's it hanging? You want to play a game with me? Sure, what kind of game? It's called Bottoms Up. We both play a card from our hand that we think is lower than the one the other person is playing, and the person with the lowest card wins. If you win, you get the number of points that are on your card, plus you get to take the loser's card and add it to your hand. So you want to play a low card to win, but if you play your high cards at the right time, you get a lot of points. It's a game of compromise. I used to play it all the time back on Helio, but now everyone's here and, you know, realizing their dreams of being heroes and saving humanity, he says, rolling his eyes with a good-natured grin. Soldiers love to gamble. You know, that thing you use here, kudos? We can bet some kudos on it, or maybe we can bet something more interesting. What do you mean, more interesting? Well, have you ever kissed anyone before? Not yet? Really? Wow, but you're so handsome and cool. He puts his hands on yours and leans in, looking at you with a sincere expression. I'd love to be your first kiss, Sabote. Do we go with sure, or do we go with wait, do we kiss no matter who wins? I don't know who's in chat. Like, nobody's here. Like, Griff, you're in chat, but you're driving. I can't ask you what we do. Where'd everybody go? I know Riggy said that she'd be late if she shows up at all, because she's got another thing going on. Let's, I don't know. Hold on. Just augment doggy ears. Oh, let me see. Sure. Rex puts out a hand to shake a paw, or to shake on it. Deal! The anticipation's the best part. Look at that! Rex shuffles the cards and deals half the deck to each of you, and you begin to play the game. The best... I was gonna do other stuff, but now I'm watching Boater. Hi, Spyro. Welcome. We're gonna kiss this guy. It's, oh, we could put kudos on it, or it could be more interesting. Well, have you kissed anyone before? I say, no, not yet. Oh, but you're so handsome and cool. I'd love to be your first kiss. And the options were to flirt and say sure, or reasoning and be like, wait, wouldn't there be a kiss either? Because one of us would... I just went with sure. The best thing about this game is it's not very hard to play, Rex says, scooping up his winning cards. It's all about how well you know the other person. And, well, we don't know each other very well yet, so what do you want to know about me? What do you like to do for fun? Talk to people mostly. Puts down a low card to win the hand. I like to see what everyone's doing, and I help them with stuff. I help them with stuff if I can. I just really like being around other people. I like doing whatever they're doing. Oh, and cuddling, of course. I love cuddling and running and chasing stuff. He rubs a soft inner part of his ear and smiles sheepishly. Have you made any new friends here? Oh yeah, of course. He looks happy. All the adults are so much nicer than the ones I grew up with. Like, they care so much about how and why they do stuff. I love being around them. Does he have animal ears? Yes, he does. He has dog ears, and if you couldn't tell, a very dog-like personality as well. And the other teens, like, whoa, you guys are all so cool. Nenemy and Tang are so passionate. Cal and Tammy are so sweet, and Mars is like a galactic-level hottie. Wow. He trails off, lost in thought. Oh, and that disc guy seems interesting, too. What do you want to do now that you're here? Oh, wow. Big question. I don't know. I think if I stayed on the Heliopause, I probably would have ended up being a soldier like everyone else, but planet side? He smiles to himself and then puts down a high card. I could do anything. I've always liked making things with my hands, and I like making other people happy. Maybe I can do something with that. Enough talking, let's just play the game. You play out the rest of the cards, staying fairly even in points until Rex is left with only one card and you have two. You're trailing, but not by much. If you play your low card for an easy win, you'll gain enough points to make it a draw. If you gamble on the slightly higher card in your hand, you might lose entirely, but you could win. What do? Do not have the empathy to check him for tells. We'll go for it for a chance to win. Put down the higher of your two cards and Rex shouts, "You for real? That was a really risky play. You're lucky I only had a high card left." He turns over his card. It's even higher than yours. You win the game by a comfortable margin. Rex tidies up the cards, biting his lip with one little fang as he darts you a coy look. So, want to cash in that bet, winner? Yeah. Rex giggles and leans in, cupping your cheek and placing a soft, thoughtful kiss on your lips. It doesn't last long, but you can tell he's a great kisser. He smiles warmly as he pulls away. "Thanks for playing with me, Silbote," he murmurs. "Maybe we could do it again sometime?" And that was just an interaction. That was cool. Alright, cool. Where are we? Cool. I'm glad our friendship with Rex is 10 and he was my first kiss. At least he didn't kick your face. Yeah, okay, fair. Alright. Wow, I did not realize we're maxed on friendship with Sim. Lick your face. Okay, okay. I think so. We got organizing up. Creativity is at 28. Maybe we do a little bit of combat training because we've got that +1 physical there. Defense training, +2 combat. And this is +2 bravery. Yeah, let's do defense training. You've heard Security Chief Red is on the lookout for lookouts. That is, for kids to chill out on top of the walls all afternoon and count Xenos. Sounds way better than going to class. He gives you a once-over, eyes narrowed. Alright, look over there at the end of the field. What does that sign say? Read it out loud. You read the sign easily. It says, if you can read this, your eyesight's 20/20. What a weird sign. What's it mean? Brett nods in approval. Good, you pass. Go back next month, I'll put you on the roster. Unlock the lookout duty in the garrison. Alright. Defense training, +1 to red cards, and 1 slot becomes a 3. So many wild cards. Okay. Let's do this. 2, 3, 4, and just massive win. +6 combat. Oh, I thought our combat was higher than that going into that. +2 animals. Alright, we're in pollen. What does lookout duty get us? Perception. What was it, +6 before? Yeah, that would get us what we need. Let's see if anyone's chatting. Actually, we'll check in with everyone because of change of season. Sometimes they get a little bit of unique dialogue. Mom's at work. Dad doesn't have time to chat but waves hello. Did they just write less dialogue for them since they tend to die by this point? Unless you're really working on it? OMG, I missed so much. Welcome back, Shady Cats. You missed my character's first kiss. I kissed Rex. Also, you were here last week, so, you know, whatever. Thank you for the Hydrate Redemption. The W sponsor on that, be sure to check that out for 30% off your order rather than the usual 10% this weekend only. You were here last week, right? Right, Shady Cats? Or were you not? I thought you were. Rex is one of the new kids. Right there. I was not. Then you should have caught up on the VOD! Oh my gosh, okay. Short version. The settlement was basically destroyed, and then a ship came in with a few new teens as well as a new governor. And the governor basically took control of the place from us, calling us criminals. And I don't watch the VOD if you want the details. Like I had to summarize it so many times for people who came in late last time. But yeah, we have new people here. Nomi, they, them, Rex, he, him, and Vase, fucking fascist, that Anemone is falling for. So, that's great. That said, we're going to do combat training one more time just to get that up to the next pip. There's so many people training in self-defense today that you have to break out into stations. What do you want to work on today? I don't know what Cabrera is. Anemone's been studying videos of other martial arts and wants to learn some sweet dance moves to show off in her class. She needs a partner and you jump at the chance. Rhett watches you both, a skeptical look on his face. What does this have to do with self-defense, he says. The point of this isn't to have fun, it's to learn how to not die. Whatever, you're too busy learning how to do a sick handspin to pay attention. He rolls his eyes and stalks away, muttering about how you're wasting your time. You feel more in control of your body, though, which is undoubtedly going to help you in an actual fight. We have just turned 16. We did 1 year last week, because remember the week before we did 2 years and it was like almost a 4-hour stream? We did 1 year and it was a 3-hour stream last week. So, alright. We have a bunch of physical. And I think we just load up some numbers. Cool. We did get our combat up to where we need it to be. You're woken by the buzzing on your holopalm. It's a colony-wide alert. You rub your eyes and ponder the thickness of the air seeping into your bedroom through the open veranda door. It's an ominous but beautiful sight. The seasonal pale pink haze has turned to deep fuchsia with scintillating silver sparkles floating through it. The shimmer! Thankfully, you've all been inoculated against the shimmer, because this looks like a bad year for the airborne spores. To be safe, you stay inside and seal your door and windows tightly. You spend the time playing holo games with your dad. After a couple days, the pollen fog passes without incident. New perk. What do we get? Oh, new cards available in the depot. Let's go check. But then we're probably going to go out and about. Visit the supply depot. How to play the best hand. Plus 30 to engineering first use is free. Plus 50 combat. Plus 15 to all skills. I really like that. We don't quite have enough for it yet, but we're getting there. Yeah, maybe we go with that and just plus 15. It won't help us unlock the perks, but it would just be nice to have those higher. But let's go exploring today. Where do we want to go? That's bravery and perception. This is perception in animals. Perception in biology. Perception and engineering. Oh my god, none of those are really things that we need. We should go out and about at some point. But maybe we see if we can get creativity up to a thing next. We're not babysitting. Nah. Practice photophoner. Plus 3 creativity. And a little bit of bravery. Yeah, let's do this. Practicing the photophoner isn't just about controlling your breath, but controlling your mind too. It takes a remarkable internal clarity to be able to summon crisp, beautiful holographic images. You meditate a lot, focusing on developing your inner eye. Okay. One card gets a plus 2. I think we're just gonna load up some numbers. I'm trying to set up a straight here. So that does a 2, 3, 4, 5. What happens if I set this up for a flush instead? Not nearly as good. There we go. Ew, chilled and gross. Yeah, exactly. Don't want that. Plus 6 creativity. Perfect. Shop close perk. New cards in the depot. Oh, really? I'm working hard on unlocking perks this month. Or this year. And all I'm getting is new cards in the depot? Double check that nobody needs to talk. And then we are going to do an exploration round. Supply depot. Memory backpack. Draw an extra card. Superhero cape. Bravery and plus bonus for straights. Emoji Proji. Plus 10 to all yellow skills and plus 2 to all yellow challenges. Cool jacket. Plus 20 persuasion. Plus 2 to yellow straights. Udicut's old hat. Plus 5 empathy. Plus 1 bonus to straights. Interesting. So Tammy and Cal are a thing, right? We're shipping that so hard. Yes, you did miss that. They brought me a cake on my birthday. And it was like, what, are you guys dating? And Tammy was like, yeah. And Cal was like, yeah, thanks for telling me to ask her out. So yes, they are officially dating, and we love them for it. But let's do some exploration, get our stress a little higher. Let's survey the ridge. Let's see, that's engineering is the extra one there. Perception, biology, bravery. We could do this because it does plus to bravery, which we could use another another perk with. So let's do that. Explore nearby. A little bit of bravery going there. Probably get another thing with Sim. Utopia is working near the gates. This area has been deemed safe enough for kids to go on a hike, so long as you're back before dark and never go out during glow. There ain't a lot to see out here, she says. Logging camp, few fields, some nice lookouts. You've been out here before, but that was when you weren't supposed to, so you let her give you the advice anyway. Keep your eyes peeled for useful things, like that there mushwood log. Lumber carrier must have dropped it. It's fairly safe out there, but that don't mean totally safe. Don't go too far. If you see anything what scares you, run like heck and make a ton of noise. What you hoping to see out there, sweets? Checking things out. Right on, right on. Spoken like a true explorer. Keep your eyes and ears open, you might learn something. Things go pretty wild out there. If you picked a place clean, give it a year. Bet it'll look like you were never there at all. Pretty sure I was supposed to get that kind of stuff back at like 13 or 14. The blue of my shirt for the accent light. Okay. So that is a blue kind of like that and not quite so saturated. There we go. We're again gonna just skip past those things until we've found any story-y items. Shit, what a mushwood logs. Make sure to give some to Rex. You think you see Sim running through the trees up ahead near the edge of a cliff. You call out to him, but your voice is drowned out by a screeching roar that shakes the forest. A manticore! You're feeling a remarkable lack of self-preservation today, so you holster your scanner and follow the noise through the trees. To find Sim fending off not one, but 3 manticores at the edge of the cliff, his back to the fatal drop behind. He's bleeding profusely from his hairline, and his left arm hangs useless at his side. He doesn't even register your presence as he tries to calm the beast with soothing sounds. One of the manticores knocks Sim off his feet, and your heart lurches as a spray of stones clatter down the cliff. The beast have him completely at their mercy. The lead manticore's delicate feet pin Sim's tattered clothing to the ground, spittle drooling from its misshapen jaws, and you watch Sim's expression twist with an emotion you've never seen in him before. Fear. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Card gets a +3. That's handy. +1 to physical challenges. +2 to cards with gems. There we go. So that, as a wild card, sets up a 5, 6, 7 straight. Awesome. Card gets a +3, and then another +4 if that's the only blue card. Perfect. +6 if the card to the left is blue. Wonderful. 27 to go, and yeah, we got this. 8. 8. 8. Victorious. +2 combat, which, you know, it's fine. Somehow using all your strength and then more, you defeat the lead manticore. The 2 smaller ones scatter, hissing their displeasure and biting at each other. With the death of their alpha, negotiating their new pack dynamics should distract them for a while. Are you okay? Sim waves you off with the arm that doesn't hang limp at his side. I'm fine, he gasps. I feel pain, but it does not control my behavior as much as it seems to in humans. Oh, hold on. He has a more lilting sort of speech. Like a character that I named in How We Stop the Destroyers, erudite star of the forest hibernal, or whatever. Sim is barely standing upright after that battle. Truly, he wasn't much help this time, and it seems as though, despite your best efforts, his strength is fading fast. He stumbles into you, knocking you both to the ground. He lands on top of you, your legs intertwined as his weight presses you into the dirt. Ugh, he gasps. You can feel every inch of his long body against yours, stirred to quickening by the adrenaline of the fight. My hero, he murmurs. His eyes fall to your lips. Well, I think we have people in chat now. What do we do? So we kissed a boy back in the colony. I will say I personally am not too interested in Sim as a romance partner. But I'm happy for chat to guide this here. If you want me to kiss the boy or the alien, the immortal. But I can also shove him away and we say, no, we're saving ourselves for someone with a bit more human DNA, thank you. Where's Riggy? Riggy let me know that she would be late if she shows up at all. Next week she should be on time, but last week and this week we're late ones. So do we kiss the alien that is very grateful for our rescue, or do we say, bro, back up a little? I'm answering for Riggy. Kiss him. You close your distance, pressing your lips to Sim's. He makes a sound of surprise that quickly turns to delight, and then surprise again when you hook your leg over his and gently roll on top of him, taking control of the kiss. Oh, goddamn. Sim kisses with a charming innocence at first, clearly improvising his way through his first kiss, though he's quick to respond to your touch. You flick your tongue against his lips and he opens his mouth to you, allowing you to taste deeply of him as his good hand digs into your side. It's not long at all before he's responding in kind, and you're both breathing heavily into each other's mouths as you discard all sense of propriety and grind against each other in the dirt. Damn, so Bote is described as also a good kisser, even though this is his second kiss. Oh, Sim gasps as you break for breath. He sounds dazed. Is it always like that? You wouldn't know, but you're not in it anyway. Sim makes a hungry noise and claims your mouth again, kissing you passionately. Damn! I didn't know you felt this way. I'm not gonna say I wanted to do this for so long because this was kind of heat of the moment thing. Sim looks unusually bashful. I was too subtle, he murmurs, and for that you have my apologies. Everything I have learned of love has been from researching your holographic videos, he continues quietly. I did not know that it was possible. I did not have words for this feeling. I love this planet deeply, he says. You listen intently, playing with a lock of his hair. And I love my purpose here. I love every living thing. And I take comfort in knowing our fates are inescapably intertwined. Was it you've been working on this for a while? It was not subtle, Riggy called it. I haven't been working towards romance with Sim, no. Friendship, yes. Romance has not been my intention. But as Ditzy pointed out, to make up for lost time, every time that you interact with Sim, you gain 20 friendship with him. So we are maxed out on friendship. Sim places his hand over your chest. But there are no words for the feeling I have here when I see you. Like an ache that pulls me to you. I envision things with you that are impossible to explain. Did we? I don't remember having done that. Maybe. He looks away and you see color rise on his cheeks. Forgive my crudeness, but I know of the biological imperative of all life. Gardeners do not share this imperative and do not feel driven to physicality with you, but perhaps it is this body. Perhaps it is you. All I know is that I would very much like to kiss you again, and I would not like to stop. You have every time it's been available, Riggy's made you pick it. Okay, that's fair. You're about to grant his wish when you're both startled by a crashing sound from the trees. Oh no. You jolt apart in time to see one of the two remaining manticores break through the tree line and roar at you, blood and spittle spraying from its ravenous jaws. There's no sign of the other, clearly lesser manticore. Run! Sim gasps, pulling you both to your feet. He gives you a push and you start running parallel to the cliff, trying to get some distance before it's safe to duck back into the trees. You don't hear Sim behind you. You whirl around just in time to see Sim clash with the manticore, grappling with its huge front claws as it pushes him closer to the edge of the cliff with dancer-like strength. Go! Sim yells, rocks scattered down the cliff by his feet. Please, Sabote, just go! You don't even have a chance to be a hero. The manticore takes Sim's neck in its jaws, and he screams in pain. Sim locks eyes with you once more as time slows to a crawl, then speeds up as he grabs hold of the manticore and launches himself backwards off the cliff. They're gone before you can scream. You rush to the edge, too late to catch even his trailing, tattered coat. It's a long way down, and the wind buffets your face viciously. You try to blink away the image of their bodies falling through the air, now seared in your memory. You turn away from the smudges at the bottom of the cliff, but you still see it. You sit down stunned and stay that way for a long time. How can he be gone just like that? Dead. There won't be any funeral for him. The alien who would be human. It's not like he can bring his remains home to be properly recycled. It's a small comfort that at least out here, it won't be long until nature takes its course. Sim would probably have wanted that, you think. With a heavy heart, you return to the transport station. You just want to go home. Damn, didn't realize that was going to be cut short like that. +1 bravery, but -1 because morning. Do you guys want a spoiler from, but not quite spoiler, but info from my last playthrough regarding that? Sim isn't dead. Denial. Okay, it doesn't say how long we're in mourning. Mars, no. I got you a present. I have a lot of sticks. Have a stick. I have a present for you. Do I have strange devices? I do. Here, have a strange device. For me? Really? I can't wait to crack it open and see what makes it tick. It's friendship with people. For the previous playthrough, yes. I did not romance Sim. But in my last year, I did run into that scene as well. And I don't think I was able to save him. It was still Manticore off the cliff edge. And it just went straight to that. So I was a little... As soon as the Manticore came back out, after the romance scene, I was like, oh no, it's happening again. Here, I have so many gifts. Take these. Okay, Tang hates the flirt. I hope you find it useful. I don't necessarily know all of what everyone likes, but... Is there someone down here? No, okay. Okay, let's do the nearby thing again. Explore nearby. Just kind of get our stress up there because we'll get less... We'll get a stress reduction next month. There's a hop eye. You hear a sad hiccuping sound and follow it to find a sick hop eye. It's hunched down low, its foot completely nestled under its body, shivering uncontrollably. Its enormous eyes roll around in confusion and fear at your approach. Try to take it home with us. Do we get? I think I get another pet out of this. I really just, it really doesn't matter too much. The hop eye hisses and tries to bite you. It doesn't want to be touched. You throw your jacket over it, then carefully pick it up and put it in your pack. You crack the zipper a bit to give it some fresh air. Your dad helps you make a little nest for it in the empty part of the geoponics barns. Every day you bring it food and water and gradually nurse it back to health. Cal takes an interest in the recuperation. Utopia says that hop eyes don't really have a gender, he says, as you're washing out the pen together. Well, hold on, we're just straight back to home again? I'm trying to do some exploring, and both the events that we've done go straight back to home. Or maybe she said that they're both genders, and they're really social. So what are you going to name them? Optimus Prime. What do you think, Donut? What should we name the hop eye? Bring my Weeb Optimus statue back over. Okay. We could go with Hop Solo. Or we could go with something else, it's fine. 5 hops this time. Any other thoughts? I would do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, but with stream delay. By the time I say 5, it's just happening. So off we go. Hop Solo was the first one said, and it's in the list. A vagabond, a scoundrel, a ruffian with a heart of gold. Does that make you Sobote Baka? Cal offers the hop eye a piece of baba fruit. Cute! Hop Solo plucks the fruit from Cal's hand and hops down into your lap to snuggle down and nibble on it. Cal snaps a photo with his holopalm and shares it, captioning it Friends for Life. God. It's Vertumnalia. Everyone's in high spirits as you decorate the colony square. The great tables are piled high with food, groaning under the weight of heaps of roasted and steamed vegetables, barbecued meat, stews, carafes of mulled cider, and cakes dripping with frosting and sugarbug syrup. You gather in the colony square for the usual speeches. Lum takes the stage to fanfare and applause. "Hello, people of Vertumna!" he exclaims over the din. "Happy Vertumnalia!" He takes a big theatrical breath. "Do you smell that? That is the smell of victory! We humans have secured our hold on this planet, and now it's time to celebrate!" He gestures to the sagging feast tables. "Eat, drink, and be merry!" The crowd cheers again. After the council members each give their annual reports, everyone starts clearing the square to set up for the Vertumnalia games. You feel the pulse of a new holo message in your palm and open it up to read. "Happy Vertumnalia, there's a present for you on the table. XOXO, your secret admirer." Dislike this guy. When does he die? I don't know if he does. I don't know if he can. He didn't die in my first playthrough, but, you know, we can work on it. You rush over to the feast table and spot a wrapped present in among the roasted vegetables. You have a secret admirer? You unwrap your present. It's a data band. You snap it on your wrist and boot it up on your holopalm. It's full of all your favorite songs, videos, shows, and games. A collection curated by someone who must really know you. Now you'll always have your media with you even if the net goes down, including your favorite episodes of Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. Nice! Murderbot reference. That's so friggin' cool. You search the holopalm for any hint as who could have made it, but you can't find anything. You'll have to ask around, but later. The games are about to begin. Okay, so last time I was trying to be friends with Anemone. Like, to get close to her and try to romance her, whatever. And she ended up being the secret admirer that gave that to me. And I'm like, you know, and this was after she had shown interest in Vase. And I was like, I don't know, I guess she's... Like, I went up to Steph, and I was like, she's not interested in me, she's interested in the fascist boy. And then she gave me the thing, and it's like, she gave me a thing as a secret admirer, yay! And then she ended up dating Vase anyway. And it was heartbreaking. I don't know if the secret admirer changes? I have to assume it does. I forgot about the whole secret admirer thing. Who are we even big friends with? Cal is the most, and then Tangent, but Cal's in a relationship, and I don't think they're open to a third. Can you please Google for me? Well, no, because I don't want you to spoil it for yourself. I'll Google really quick. I'm not going to Google how to find out who it is. I'm just going to Google if it changes. Teenage Exocolonist. That's a lot of O's in that word. Secret admirer. Secret admirer will always happen, and it will either be the one with the higher romance or the one you flirted with. This could be Anemone or Tangent or Sim. I mean, we did kiss Rex. I will probably ask him first. We haven't flirted with Tang. I don't think we've tried to flirt with Anemone. I think we might have with Cal or Tammy, but again, they're in a relationship. So it is either Rex or possibly... Never mind. Sim is dead. Game's about to begin! You assemble with the other kids for the annual games. What do you choose this year? We've been going brainier. Not so... Oh, God, our persuasion is just no. Organizing was damn close. But I guess we'll go with trivia. You're not going to have any pop culture questions this year, right? Tangent sulks, her voice dripping with disdain. Just don't see the point. Why aren't we celebrating real intelligence? Luckily, Nomi doesn't overhear this. Or if they do, they don't care. They're just happy to be here. Okay, blue challenge. 3, 4, 5. Could really use that all cards to the right become blue. +2 to cards with gems. We just want pure numbers on that one. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it would have been nice to have that. Cards to the right all become blue. Alright, we've got that wild value there. Hell yeah. Oh! Because of the 2 5s, so then all of these are wild. Cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, win. Oh, God. That is so good. Thank you, Ditzy. All those hours spent watching holovids really paid off. You nail the pop culture questions, and about half of the science and humanities ones as well. Nomi and Tangent are too specialized to beat you, Trivia Star. After the festivities, everyone descends on the feast. You heap your plate with more food than you could eat in 3 sittings. When all the food is gone and the sunset has broken the heated day, people break out their instruments. Everyone dances well into the night. I have a couple of pets now! Okay. Hey Vase, are you my secret admirer? I'm gonna check with Rex first. Rex is lounging in a hammock he set up between 2 mushwood poles. He looks like he's snoozing, but his ears twitch and he opens one eye as you approach. Can't sneak up on me, Sabote, he groans, stretching. People have tried. Someone gave you the data band. It might have been Rex. And even if he's not, I don't think it'd be awkward to ask Rex. Are you my secret admirer? You got a what? Secret admirer? Nah, secret's not my style. But you know, not ruling it out. I think it's gonna be really awkward if I ask Cal. Alright, so same things there. Who do we ask next? Like, wow, this doesn't even have the question mark on him. Sim is what? This doesn't believe when you tell him. But I just saw him. You're lying. He can't be dead. He refuses to listen and keeps repeating that you must be wrong. Okay, cool. So you're focused on that. Have I flirted with this before? It's gotta be Sim, yeah. I don't know what to do about that, though. Nomi's using a vert space helmet, flailing their arms around to play a hologame only they can see. Unable to sense your approach, they crash right into you. Whap! Oh! Sorry, Sabote, didn't see you there. Flirted with this one time. Yeah, but like I had to do the I didn't do the conversation with him that Sim is dead, so I don't know if that locked me out or what. Are you my secret admirer? You got a secret admirer? That's so romantic. I wonder who it is. Either Nomi's a better liar than you give him credit for, or you're on the wrong track. Okay, Tammy is also very... You have a secret admirer? That's so romantic. I wish I had an admirer. I mean, you do. He's just not secret about it. You admire Tammy, right? You're... What? Okay, cool. Maybe next month we'll be able to ask about it. Wow, they make little squeakies. Alright, and then I can just talk to you as normal here, right? Yeah. I don't think we flirted with Tangent at all. I think we're just gonna get this out of the way so we can talk to people normal. Are you... what? Sabote, if I liked you, you would know. Trust me. Tang? You're what? Star Sabote. Do I look like I have time for childish games? Yeah, cool. Gross. Not a chance, Sabote. Brutal. I have to... Actually, no, you know what? This is pointless. I don't... Oh, no! I didn't... Hold on, did that... Well, he was the last person I was going to hit up anyway. I should have just... I think there was one that was just, oh, it can't be him. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, it's probably Sim, but now I don't know if I, like, locked myself out from being able to... Well, anyway. What's... Okay, bravery... Up, still in mourning. What do we want to do? Let's... we could do robotics lab. I don't know, like, I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm kind of happy with how my stuff's going. Biology, organizing. Yeah, I might have something to study. No, it didn't even give me a little bit of text. I no longer need to do anything with xenobotany. Cool. Let's do robotics. Because that, I think, would be some good additional stuff for us. Reasoning and empathy. Repair robots is engineering and creativity. Let's do this. You're heading back to your quarters at the end of the day, and as you pass by a medbay, you hear shouts and scrambling from within. Several surveyors have come back with serious wounds, not the usual broken limbs and sunstroke. One of them's holding a towel to her own leg, stenching blood flow from a massive animal bite. Another looks nearly blinded from acid. It looks like chaos in there. Biology's 50 or greater. Let's help out in medbay. That's some stress. That's biology. Gosh, it's a good thing you were here. Triaging and getting... Oh, good. My morning thing is gone. Triaging and getting the most badly wounded into medbeds is difficult, and the others need traditional medical attention while they wait. It's hectic, stressful work, but you're able to keep your head and provide assistance. Good work in there, Sabote, Chief Engineer Instant says. You know, with how the colony's grown, I could use an assistant nurse in here. Someone I can trust to take care of things while I'm working in the lab. Come back next month, give me a hand if you're interested. Unlock nursing assistant in engineering. Dang. Okay. I see a bunch of 6s. +7 engineering. Yeah, we're gonna get that maxed real quick. Let's see what perks Medbay does for us. I assume empathy? Biology and empathy. It's a shame it's not empathy first, because our biology is maxed, but... let's just see if anyone wants to chat. Anemone, get away from him. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that medbay. And then actually we haven't done a lot of exploring this time out, so I think we're probably going to do 2 years of story. Like, we'll kind of stay close to home at this point because the times that we try to go exploring. Well, it goes quicker now because we have the perception thing where we don't have to hit every little event on the way. You report for your first shift as Dr. Instance's nursing assistant. Instance was never supposed to be the literal doctor for everyone in the colony. All the colony's medical needs were supposed to be covered by the medbeds, and then eventually would train medical professionals from your generation. With the growing number of wounded and sick, it's pulling Instance's attention away from her actual work in the lab, hence why she needs the help. I'm a doctor, not a physician. Instance grumbles as she swipes through a holopalm to give you access to the medbay systems. I can study the local xenofauna so it stops killing us, or I can treat burns and upset tummies. I can't do both. There, she says, it's the haptics in your holopalm pulse. You should have access. Now, don't bother me for anything less than a cranial bleed. It's a med bed, not a jar of leeches. Just follow the instructions and push the right buttons. You need something? Ask Congruence. Congruence beams at you from her holomonitor. Can you handle that? I can handle anything. That's the spirit, Congruence chirps. It's you and me, Sabote. High five! You gently bonk Congruence's panel with your open palm, and she laughs. There are no patients today, so you're going to brush up on your first aid training. Every colonist gets first aid training starting in their early teens. Lungs gotta breathe, heart's gotta beat, blood should stay inside the body. Check. You run through quiz scenarios with congruence for a whole week. CPR, elevate and put pressure on wounds, wrap broken bones, flush eyes with water, leave foreign objects in, but be real careful with neck injuries. Fun fact, congruence informs you, in the field, your holopump can discharge its batteries all at once as a makeshift defibrillator. First aid is important, but the goal is just to get the person stable long enough to bring them here to a medbed. That's where you and Dr. Instance will take over. You'll be fine. It might only be a matter of life and death. No biggie. Get to work. Okay, so many blue. And it's already there. Poof. Actually, you know what? Poof. Yeah, I don't need the extra plus to be to biology. I wish I could, like, rearrange which one's on top. Just quickly checking that no one else needs to chat. Let's see what there is going on in the lounge. I don't think that there's anything that I really want to practice the photo phoner and relax. Oh, what's lookout duty was unlocked. Let's do that. We're just being omnidisciplinarian. Lookout duty is perception and animals. Honestly, actually, my animals is getting kind of high. I could try maxing that out. That's going to be 10 to the animals here. Animals and empathy. Yeah, we're working on both, so let's do that. You meet your dad by the animal pens, fresh and ready for your first day at your new job. Your dad laughs at your clean clothes and your scrub face. Oh, pumpkin. Sorry to tell you, you're a little overdressed for the position. You're gonna get dirty and all heck today. Go on, put on those overalls, let's get to work. You change and follow your dad to the float cow pens. He rubs their noses as he points out their names. I know they're cute, but these ladies aren't pets, he says. They're livestock. And more than that, they're not really domesticated like our animals back on Earth. They're more like tame. We give all the animals lots of room to roam, and we feed them well. They're not going to get chased down and eaten by bigger animals, and we help them if they're sick. It's a pretty good deal, I think, but they're still pretty wild. You gotta be careful with them. He leans his elbows on the fence. We were pretty lucky that Vertumna has herd animals, he says. Makes it a little easier. We'll probably have real domestic animals in a couple hundred years. Well, kiddo, your dad says, spreading his arms. We got all these animals. What do you want to learn about first? Float cows. He gestures at the herd of float cows. Here they are. Beautiful, aren't they? And pretty gross. You don't want to know where they make their milk, but I'll give you a hint. It's not dairy. He laughs at your wrinkled nose. It's not any weirder than when people used to drink cow's milk. I mean, who's the first guy who decided to do that? We figured out if we keep feeding them what they'd be eating during pollen, they'll make milk year-round. It makes them heavy enough that they don't float away. Otherwise, we'd have to keep them on leads like balloons. Bristle slugs. Oh yeah, we got a ton of them, he says. They're great. Slow, easy to catch, real gentle. Don't let the spikes fool you. They're actually cuddly and don't mind if you pet them. It actually helps them. In the wild, they'd be scratching up on all sorts of things to knock off those itchy berries. They're not really berries. They're more like eggs. Well, they're like berries, though, because they're sweet and... You know what? Never mind. Vertumnan animals are pretty weird. How about sugar bugs? Your dad takes you to the row of crates where the soft, squishy sugar bugs are all clumped up together in the moist muck. These guys are pretty cool, he says, picking one up. It perfectly fits in his palm. They're a colony just like us, and if you tickle them, you get... He brushes his finger along the top of a sugar bug, and a little jet of gooey stuff comes out. Sugar bug syrup, he says. Pretty neat, huh? This is all disgusting. Tribbits. No joke. We thought these guys were just plants for the first couple years. We transplanted them from the wild in the greenhouses, but I guess that was just part of their life cycle? Because it turns out they're sentient and can move around and stuff. We moved them out of the greenhouses and into the barns, but we don't really treat them any differently. They still just mostly sit there. Well, let's get started. Great, that's the kind of energy I want to see around here. We need someone to milk out the float cow stables. They might float, but the poop sure doesn't. Have fun! Okay. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. empathy 2. Cal! You had plans to hang out with Cal today, but when you arrive at the Geoponics Dome, it's worryingly dark inside. Ditzy, welcome! We played cards with Rex and had our first kiss. Then we went exploring a bit and found Sim and we had our second kiss. And then Sim pulled a manticore off a cliff edge, so that's where we're at right now. Done with the throughway after the food shop. We'll watch the VOD later today. Sounds good, Griff Kuba. Glad you're still good there. And then we got the Secret Admirer holo band, but we don't know who it's from, and we're thinking probably Sim, because Rex said, Secret Admirer? Couldn't be me. And everyone else basically said no, and then I clicked the, this is dumb, I don't want to find out anyway, which I think means I wouldn't even be able to ask people, but I did that like right at the end after asking everyone else, so I have no idea. I went to Dis to try to ask him, because I think we might have flirted with him once, but we instead told him that Dis is dead, and he was in denial. You fumble around in the red emergency lighting until all the lights come back on with a heavy ka-chunk of a breaker being flipped. You blink in the sudden blinding light until the figures of Cal and Chief Engineer Instance reveal themselves in your vision. Absolutely no more of that, young man, Instance scolds Cal as he cradles his hoverboard in his arms. The power grid is not your plaything. I understand, Auntie, Cal says. I'm sorry. Instance mutters to herself as she passes you. Honestly, all of this over a toy. Hey, dude. Sorry, I meant to meet you outside after work, but my board wouldn't start, and I figured it was maybe out of juice, but when I plugged it in, it threw off all these sparks, and the whole power grid shut down. His shoulders slump. I was going to ask Dr. Instance to take a look at it, but she told me she doesn't have time to fix a dumb toy. Bro, I got you. I guess you're pretty good at fixing things. You open up the hoverboard and poke at around at its guts for a while. After about 20 minutes, you think you have it figured out. You rewire it so the power no longer flows through the burnt-out capacitor. Stick a little duct tape in there and close the casing. Cal takes the hoverboard and cautiously flips the switch. Et voila! It floats. It hovers, even. Radical! He shouts, then covers his mouth with his hands. I mean, totally cool, Sabote. Thank you so much. To celebrate, he lets you take the first spin on the board. Whoa, it bucks like a wild animal under your feet, and Cal catches you as you stumble off it. Careful! First step's a doozy. Oh, Cal and Tammy are officially dating. They brought me a birthday cake together. And I don't like how close an enemy is to face. You get away from him. He's bad for you, girl. So I'm thinking we're just going to do one more thing that's not exploring today. Oh, can we talk to Dis about the whole... Oh, Nomi's out here. Hold on. So, Dis... Okay, yeah, I can't find the Secret Admirer thing. Nomi's camped out in the lounge, their holopod screen spread out before them like a drawing table. In another screen, there's a collection of photos of a manticore. Nomi looks between the two screens, their brow furrowed in concentration as they scribble directly onto the screen with the stylus. What are you doing? Well, I wanted to write an illustrative story about aliens, like in Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform, except using the Xenos here on Vertumna, like manticores and Faceless and stuff. But they can talk, and instead of attacking the colony, they help people instead. That sounds cool. Thanks! Nomi chirps, scribbling happily at their drawing. I got the idea from the second Turbo Girl Hyperjet OVA. You know, the one where Medusa demons show up and the aliens and the Turbo Girls have to band together to defeat their common enemy? Yeah, I remember that part. Nomi looks up at you with a start. Oh, they exclaim. That reminds me, so I'm trying to brush up on my xenoanatomy, and I'm totally fine with writing, but I kind of haven't been here long enough to make sure it feels right, you know? To make it go pop! I want to make sure I'm being, you know, sensitive about stuff I don't know a lot about. So I was wondering, could you help me with some of the world building? Hell yes, my creativity is high enough. I'd love to! You spend an enjoyable afternoon helping Nomi with their story. When you're done, they give you a big hug and thank you profusely for your help. You feel really proud of what you've accomplished. Okay, let's do something close to home, and then we've got Glow. What's close to going up? Empathy. And actually our animals are getting high up there too, so let's do tending to the animals again. You're working with the bristle slugs this week. There's a whole herd of the slug, seal, porcupine beasts lumbering through the fields and rubbing against their scratching posts. You can walk right up to them, and they don't mind at all. You empty the berry catching buckets and sort through the berries, picking out loose stones and planting any that are sprouted. Those will grow into bristle slugs too one day. It's wet season and they're all fully bristled, so sometimes you have to separate out anyone who gets too territorial. Even when they're cranky, they're still pretty docile. You come back from lunch one day to find the door to the pen wide open. Oops. You might have forgotten to lock it. Good thing bristle slugs don't tend to roam. You do a head count. 15, 16, 17, 8, 7... You seem to be short one bristle slug. Luckily, they aren't very stealthy. There's a glistening slime trail leading towards the ruins of the stratospheric, decorated with little clusters of berries. You lock the gate and set off along the trail to find your wayward bristle slug. Track it down. You easily find the bristle slug. It's gotten itself wedged between two panels, scritching back and forth on the most perfect scratching situation possible. You laugh and fill your shirt with the berries like a bowl, then gently nudge it back towards the herd. It's slow going, but eventually everyone's back together again. Good work, Rancher. Okay. Numbers! It's so cheap. Done. Oh, actually, okay, so next month is Glow, but I do want to visit the depot because, I want to get... I'm not sure what I want to get. But my Plus to Animals book, I do not need that anymore. Is anyone chatty? Is anyone chatty? Is anyone chatty? Nope. Visit the supply depot. What do we want to do? Plus 15 to all skills. We've got more than enough for that. We've got 300 kudos. I think we probably do the plus 15 to all. Or the double bonus for straights is nice. The coat. The cool jacket? I don't... plus 20 persuasion. I'm real low on persuasion. That wouldn't be awful. Plus 2 bonus to yellow straights. But... plus 15 to all skills is almost as good as that for the persuasion. And plus, like, straights are kind of hard to do. So if I do straights, I'd want a higher bonus. And it to apply for all of them, so. Gear. Like, I'll take out the animal book. Oh, hop eye, okay. Oh, I'm already getting a bonus of straights. Oh. So, I think we'll do the plus 15 to all. And it's already in there. Cool. So that'll unlock a few more options for us. Oh, we did find a hop eye, so we've got two little buddies around with us right now. Let's tend the animals again during Glow. I wonder how the animals are during Glow. But that should get us perks for empathy and for animals. There are only a few glowing plants in the garden, so in the dark of Glow you have to do a lot of outdoor work by lamplight. It's the eerie not light. Well, in the eerie not light, fertile earth dirt looks the same as Vertumnan dirt. It's so hard to see what you're doing. Nice. I wonder if I can get a dilly pillar of my own. Oh, these were all low values. It's fine. My goal is only 33. Plus 2 to a physical card to the right. Does that count for you too? Sort of. Cool. 3, 4, 5 straight. Really? Empathy didn't... Cool, I can upgrade my pets again, relaxing in the park. You're lying in bed, staring at the wormhole through your window when you hear a deep thump resonate through the ground. Then a second one, quieter. The woven roof of your room quivers, unleashing a season's worth of fine glowing dust to sift through the air. Through your open window, you hear voices sounding the alarm. The annual offensive is here. Leading the charge are 2 massive faceless. You grab a plas rifle and report to the front, where a line of soldiers have taken up arms and are waiting for orders. The colony prepares to defend itself against 2 building-scale faceless, as well as a teeming swarm of smaller Xenos that seethe towards you. "Hold steady!" orders Security Chief Rhett. "Keep the line!" "No!" Governor Lum yells, running from the front gates to the front of the defensive line. He elbows Rhett out of the way and waves his arms wildly. "Bring them closer! Draw them in!" Fuck this guy. Rhett stops himself from shoving Lum back, but just barely, you can tell. "Are you serious? We can't let them any further into the colony. We're gonna fight them on our territory!" Lum cries, raising his plas rifle over his head with one hand. "We have the walls, let's use them! Let them come inside and pick them off one by one." "We can't pick off a faceless!" Rhett sputters from the sidelines. "When is he gonna die, please?" Lum smiles maniacally. You can see the gleam of teeth from here. "I have a plan, just follow my lead!" With that, he turns and begins to run towards the approaching animals, roaring taunts and firing wildly into the fray to draw them close. At a loss, Rhett motions you all to fall back and let the animals approach. The area just inside the gates becomes a swirling melee of smaller Xenos and plas rifle fire, the 2 faceless lumbering slowly behind. I guess we'll try to stay out of the way. 82. Card becomes 4. Yo, fuck you. Doesn't matter. Value is wild. Look at that straight. 8, 9, 10. Oh, no, sorry. That's not a straight. That's a, oh, that is a straight. And also a 3 of a kind. How silly of me. +2 to the card to the right. So that 6 becomes a 6 again. 7. Yeah, alright. And then card to the right becomes... When you say wild, do you mean wild? Okay, you mean fully... we'll take that -5 stress. Cool. You're not exactly a professional soldier, but you manage to hold your own against the Xenos, even though you still scream and retreat when something gets too close. You don't injure any humans with your plas rifle, at least. Out of the artillery smoke wafting over the battlefield, Lum comes running. "Here they come! Here they come!" he shouts joyfully, and plows through the gates with the 2 faceless galloping behind him. It's without a doubt idiotic, and horrendously dangerous. You can't help it. You hit record on your holopalm and film the ensuing chaos. You catch a glimpse of Chief Rhett putting his hand over his face and sighing. A squad of Helios soldiers takes up the charge and helps shepherd the faceless into the open area in the middle of the colony. You have horrible flashbacks to the first time you saw a faceless inside these walls. From the looks on the faces of the other Stratos, you're not the only one. Then you're all thrown to the ground by a tremendous explosion. Fire engulfs the center square, roasting the 2 faceless in an inferno that blasts the sweat from your pores. Rocks and chunks of dirt patter all around you, with the occasional thunk of burning mushwood. Those soldiers nearest the blaze all recoil in surprise. Clearly no one but Lum knew that the square had been rigged with explosives. You don't think anyone was caught in the blast, but it was close. Lum stands before the blaze, laughing and firing at the 2 tortured faceless as they roast to death. You raise your holopalm to capture the image, his silhouette dark against the column of flame and smoke. It was ridiculously dangerous and stupid, but it does look pretty cool in your recorded footage. No, fuck this guy. People filter out of their hiding places, shielding their faces from the heat coming off the bonfire in the middle of the square. On the horizon, the first watery rays of quiet sunrise are beginning to make a dent in the hot orange glare. The colony's fire suppression system is turned on the square, revealing the charred corpses of the 2 faceless. Utopia walks by with a reclamation team, hauling an industrial plas cutter on a hoverlift. "Did he use the mining explosives?" Utopia says in awe. "Mighty bold of him. Those things will blow a hole in a mountain. Or a creature, I suppose. Wish you could have saved them from mining. That must have been the last of them, and we sure can't make more. Then she and her crew are out at earshot as they pick their way down the blast crater to carve up the faceless for recycling. Cool! That worked for 1 year, my dumbass! What are you gonna do next year? When it escalates like it always does? Okay. Fortunately, and our colony defense was over 7. But we lost 2 colony defense. Fortunately, the colony was well defended. Oh, so unfortunately, we now don't have the defense or something. Okay, fortunately, the colony was well defended. You and the other colonists have been fortifying the defenses, putting security above all else. Tonight's defense was still a resounding, if messy, success. But if Utopia's right, you don't have any more of those explosives now. You can't just nanoprint unstable molecules like that. What are you going to do during the next attack? I don't know, but that is the end of 1 year and it's only 11:30. So let's do another year. Cool. And we've still got some headroom on stress. Yeah, and everyone's got updated character models. So, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hit the BRB button. I'm gonna run an ad break on Twitch. While that ad runs, I encourage you to go to w.gg and check out, see if there's anything there for shakers, energy mix, hydro mix, any cool swag. They've still got the t-shirt with the orca on it. I love it. You get 30% off your order using the code BOATERBUG. I'm gonna go grab something to eat really quick. And we'll be back in probably about 10 minutes. So, BRB, ad break, check out W while you're at it, 30% off this weekend only, and we'll be back as we are now 17 years old and I was a teenage exocolonist. Be right back, everybody. Hello everyone, we're back. Sound off in chat. Hold on. We're just gonna all wings report in. Sweet. It wasn't quite a full 10 minutes, but then also I realized that the music doesn't just continually play. It'll do like silent interludes as it goes. So, all right, we are going to start our 17th year. I have some leftover barbecue from yesterday. Is it too hot to eat? Let's find out. Not fine. Alright, 17. It's not too hot for the mouth, but it's too hot for the swallow. Alright. Let's say hi to everyone. Well, first off, Mom and Dad, you guys haven't physically changed. If your mom already said no, I agree with her. Okay, cool. Thanks, Dad. Oh, we've got our organization up a little bit. Oh, right, because of the plus 15. You catch your mom leaning against her... Oh, I can do that, a lot of stuff with a lot of people, actually. Cool. You catch your mom leaning against her rake and staring out at what remains of the walls surrounding the colony. The fields usually get pretty trampled in the attacks, and it's a lot of work to get them back into shape. What do you need, Sabote? Tell her what I learned today? You've been so busy lately, the only way you've been able to get all your work done is to multitask. Studying while you're eating, brushing your teeth in the shower, listen to horror novels while you're about to fall asleep. You have to double up on everything. You kind of expect your mom to tell you to take it easy, but she just laughs and claps you on the back. You're my son, alright? Just too much damn work, not enough hours in the day. I know how you feel. Cal and Rex are hanging out in the garden gazebo. You can hear their laughter echo through the garden long before you see him. Hey, Sabote, Cal calls out to you, and Rex lifts his hand in a jaunty wave. Rex told me he wanted my help burying his bone in the garden, but when we got here, he said he must have forgot it back in his room. Can you believe it? Rex shoots you a long-suffering look and rolls his eyes. Okay, his stuff we'd already maxed out on. Okay, we're over here. Let's grab a log. Damn, Mars. Get into a debate. Interesting. So I guess we're really at war now? Because I just tried to use my kudos to print a new hairband, and they told me that I can't, because I have enough hairbands already, and I have to save the nano printer for things that are more important. Mars crosses arms and stumps her foot. Hello? Have you seen my hair? Accessories are important, okay? Need persuasion 40 or greater, and still can't do it. You and Nomi are talking when they suddenly go quiet and look down at the ground. Seconds later, a group of Helio soldiers walk past you, ignoring you and Nomi entirely. Sorry, Nomi picks at the edge of their sweater. Sometimes it's just easier if everyone pretends they don't notice me. Want to make something? Because I have artificially higher creativity now. Nomi flaps their hand in front of their face. I do, but it's so hot on this planet, don't you think? You shrug. Sure, it's different than living on a climate-controlled spaceship, but you're kind of used to it by now. Nomi snaps their fingers. Wait, we should make something to stay cool. It is snow season. It's quiet. You and Nomi brainstorm all sorts of weird and wonderful ways to stay cool. Umbrella hats, sunglasses with funny shapes, giant vats of cooling goop, but it all seems too complicated. Eventually, you just end up doodling on some of Nomi's paper and folding it to make paper fans. Sometimes the best solutions are the most simple, they smile, fanning themselves with their new Turbo Girl Hyperjet Transform fan. Over the years, a lot of people have started wearing a lot less clothing than you remember from when you were growing up on the climate-controlled stratospheric. Definitely a lot less than in the holovids you brought from Earth. Rex, though. Rex has really acclimated to Vertumna's hot, sultry weather. Not sure who's still in chat after the BRB. It's a risk whenever I do that. But dude, put a shirt on. Take your old shirt off and take your own shirt off in solidarity, or the flirt option, awoo. do here, folks. Also, let's get some music going. Stop doing the silence thing. Especially when I'm trying to, like, figure out things. And I'm like, I'm not going to talk because I want to figure out what people want. Where did you all go? It has been 10 minutes since we went BRB. Alright. We flirted with him before. Sure. Let's go with the flirt. A woo. Rex throws his head back and laughs so loud it echoes through the courtyard. He howls. I'm not going to actually do it. I don't want to upset Ronan upstairs. You both giggled and lock eyes for a few seconds that feel like literal months. Eventually, Rex faces you with a fangy smile and scratches the back of his head. He does nice things to his whole chest, shoulder, bicep situation. So you like what you see, huh? He leans in, like sharing a secret. Me too. And he winks at you. Always flirt, always. Tammy, that's a cool dress. You walk past Cal in the main courtyard as you approach the lounge, and he gives you a jaunty wave. Moments later, Tammy appears at the door looking rumpled and red-faced. Oh, hello, she calls out to you, smoothing down her skirts. Do you need something? We'll do the random act of kindness. I want to do something nice for Mars, Tammy says, fiddling with the hem of her dress, but I don't know what. She just nanoprints whatever she needs. Oh, I know. Why don't we ask Antecedent to help us put on a spa day for her? Aunt Anna has a whole cabinet of nice-smelling lotions, soaps, and scented candles. She lets you choose a few of each and reserves one of the private lounge anterooms for you. Sure, Mars can buy her own lotions, but what she can't buy is the loving servitude of her friends. You help Tammy primp and pamper Mars. She's surprised and a little humbled by the attention, and gives both of you a genuine hug and thanks. Tammy has good instincts. She always knows what people secretly need, and Mars needed to have something nice given to her instead of having to demand it. Empathy level 1. Pay to remove cards in the quarters spa. Oh! Dang! I've never gotten empathy up to a perk yet, so I can just pay to remove cards? That's freaking cool. Let me try that. Let me see how that works. Visit the spa. And like, this is a one that does nothing. Forget. If the value is wild, then we'll leave it. That's a one that does nothing. Forget. Cool. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know about that mechanic. Let's see. Tang. Tang is sitting before an array of holoscreens, all showing different graphs. Making decisions based on the mistakes of humans we purposely left behind on Earth is foolishness, she says between bites of her protein bar. May as well ask the stars for guidance like astrologers. No, I will not be taking questions at this time. How's the research coming? Reasoning 80 or greater. Well enough, she concedes, but I confess I've actually hit something up a block. I'm sure the answer's right in front of me, but I can't grasp it. You take a look at her work. Immediately you come to the conclusion that it's been just out of her reach. She rubs her eyes. Oh, you are formidable, she says. I've been coming at it wrong the entire time. Thank you for being someone on this stupid rock I can trust to know what they're doing. There's Anemone, and more like rigor mortis. When you watch the VOD. I know, right? Damn. You spot Anemone playing darts with a bunch of other soldiers. She throws a dart and it lands clear in the middle of a face that says, well, head isn't the right word, but the soldiers all cheer and clap her on the back. You're pretty good friends with Rex, aren't you? Vase asks, giving you a once-over. He must not like what he sees. I wouldn't go around telling everyone that. Might not work out great for you. Just a bit of friendly advice. Hey, you know what? Shut the fuck up, I challenge you. These are just a classic Helio test of grit, punching each other in the stomach till one of you gives up or passes out. Builds character, he says, taping up his knuckles. His bicep glistens menacingly. Did any Helio ever think of putting a piece of metal under their shirt, though? Clang! His punch reverberates through the courtyard, and he yowls and cradles his fist. He's surprised at first and angry at his pain, but when you pull the sheet of metal from your shirt, he busts out laughing. I won by default. Don't be such a coward, Sabote. Take it like a soldier. Yeah, fuck you. Still, you didn't get punched in the stomach, so that's a win in your books. And I got a +2 combat. That's the important part. Let's see here. And this is... Here we go. Damn, dude! Squatting at the edge of the colony, staring off into the wilderness with his arms around his knees. Doesn't matter. Soon I'll be gone, then you'll be gone. We'll all be gone eventually. In the Helios, they didn't see Back to the Future. How's it going? Kira Peach? Am I pronouncing that right? How's it going? Thank you for dropping by. Alright, what do we want to get done this year? I wonder if we can unlock the swamp. I think I have to go exploring a little bit first. Yeah, I can't do that. So, our stress is getting up there, but maybe... Let's see here. We can do explore nearby. Bravery, perception. Perception and animals are both maxed. Perception, biology are both maxed. Perception, engineering is not maxed. I could do... Yeah, let's do survey the ridge. And hopefully we get a story thing that's going to let me explore the swamp as well. You're about to set off in your gliders when Dis stops you. Actually, I want to show you a place I found when I was scouting. You look from your holomap. It's not on any map yet, he says. It's special. I want to show you because I think you're the only person in the colony who will understand what it means. You and Dis set off, hoping for a few hours before the trackers in your holopalms ping Utopia that you're not where you said you'd be. That's a weirdly constructed sentence. I don't know about that. After a short trek off map, Dis takes you to a round door set in the side of a cliff. The door is glossy black and made of something that's part bone and part stone, like the rest of the Convergent Domain architecture you've seen. Unlike the ruins, this place looks, well, not new, but definitely well maintained. He touches his fingers to the center of the door and it dilates like an iris, previously unseen seams folding in on themselves with a noise like rocks grinding together. Inside is a lumpy smooth tunnel that reminds you unpleasantly of intestines. It looks like you could barely fit in there on hands and knees. An unexpectedly cool wind ruffles your hair. And let's go. You both crawl and inch your way through the tunnel to where the cave opens up, about 10 or 15 meters in. You stand in a cave that looks part organic and part intentional. A curious mixture of almost organic-looking stone growths, crystals, and glowing mushrooms in a riot of iridescent oil-slick colors, some of which look like they could be controls for an ancient bioweapon. Your view deeper into the lave is obscured by layer-cake stalagmite pillars. Everything is dark but for the eerie glow. You're using your holopalms as flashlights. But it's air-conditioned. Cool, fresh air is blowing from vents in the floor. Haven't figured out what this place is for yet, Dis says, touching a mushroom with his fingertip. It puffs out a cloud of glowing spores and he sneezes. You spread out to see if you can decipher this place. Like, what the heck is that writing on the wall? There's a huge faceted crystal plate embedded in the wall, engraved with deep glyphs. Convergent Domain writing, you guessed. And some kind of map? There are lines between the symbols. You trace your hand over it, but can't make any sense of it. Well, what in the world is that console-looking thing? If it's a screen, it's all dark, like when Congruence isn't active. Unlike Congruence's colorful, decorated chassis, this has a decidedly alien tech feel. You fiddle around, touching things at random. Don't do that! This is Dis, but nothing happens. Well, I meant to say, Kira Peach, have you played the game before? Because I've had a few new viewers over the past few weeks that are here just to see the game get played. This is our second playthrough. It's going so much better than the first. You know how the first goes. Second one, we've been able to save Mom and Dad. Save Tammy, save Hal, save Utica. It's going honestly pretty great. And the glowing thingy on the ground, a strange device. What if I did this? This makes a shocked noise as the reality of the cave melts away and you find yourself back in the depot. No, not back. You can still feel the cool, moist breath of the cave on your cheeks. You can still smell the funk of the mushrooms. Around 20 unlocked endings. Dang. Yeah, I have one. It's the botanist. But everything else is exactly as you'd expect. As real as if you could reach out and touch it. You feel embodied, like you can feel the pressure of your feet. 4 feet on the ground. Utopia walks through Dis, rematerializing on the other side to talk to one of the other surveyors. Dis passes his hand through her image with amazement. Are they spying on us? He breathes. The image of Utopia doesn't seem to hear him. You take your hands off the controls and the cave returns. Dis blinks at you in the sudden gloom. What the hell was that? He says. It's like we were really there, like we were seeing out of the eyes of some kind of animal, like we were the animal. Are the gardeners spying on us? Sim says they have eyes everywhere. I didn't know he meant literally. We can't let Utopia know about this, he continues. We have to keep Sim's secrets. You agree to keep the monitoring station a secret. Doing the final search is difficult. The second one is great. Yeah, there's so much that's like cool and unlocked and just like, oh my god, you were dead before and now Cal and Tammy are dating and I love it! Tammy's making cake nonstop, 100%. Next month is my birthday, so I get cake from Tammy. And then I go to her, and then we share a cake, and she's like, silly Billy, I made my own. Hi, Sim! So, I knew, spoiler, but my first playthrough, he died when I was 19. I didn't get the chance to do anything. Hi, Sim! We saw you die! You're taking a sample at the base of a tree when you feel something patter off of your head and fall to the ground. It's a nut? That's strange. This species doesn't usually... You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize you've been watched the whole time. A pair of familiar eyes peers down at you from the branches. It's Sim? My first playthrough, I never even knew Sim. He grins down at you. Well, well, well. If it isn't the little human. Have you come to visit me, Sugar Bug? But I saw you die! Did you? You think I would remember that? If you did witness my death, I apologize. He continues. He leans down from his branch, his long hair dangling just out of reach. I imagine I didn't enjoy it much either. Now, I really want to ask, how can you just die and come back? We kissed him last time. I'll say it was kind of heat of the moment. I, like, going straight back into horny. Last time, I saved him, and then he fell on me, and it was like, hey, mwah. But, like, I'm more concerned with how can you just die and come back? It's a gardener thing, he replies dismissively, so casual about it. I make regular backups just in case. Yeah, no, that sounds normal. Hey, we still get the chance to flirt. Well, we were... Eh? You pout at Sim, trying to look kissable, but he stares at you, uncomprehending. My apologies, but I'm not entirely certain what you mean. What business? You really don't remember. Sim's thin lips form an even thinner line. I'm afraid I don't. Did I offend you in some way? Death has a way of wiping the slate clean. He gives you a little smile. It's me, I'm the slate. Embarrassment burns in your guts. You can't find the words to explain the moment you shared on the cliff. I guess I'm happy you're alive? He sighs gratuitously. I wish everyone felt that way. One of my associates seems to feel otherwise. At your confused look, he waves his hand. One of the other gardeners. Noctilucent. They really don't care for you humans, I'm afraid. and they're aware I've taken an interest in you. With a soft whoomph, Sim drops gracefully out of the tree and dusts himself off. He claps you on the shoulder. I'd watch out for them if I were you, he says. They're quite dangerous. He turns to leave, but you sputter and grab his sleeve. You can't... After all that, you deserve some real answers. Real ones. He owes you that. He turns to you, one arch eyebrow raised. What is it, Sabote? Are you really Sim? I think the other one is probably a better question to ask, but we're going with heartbroken and confused. The one and the same, Sim answers, carefully prying her hand from his clothing. I acknowledge that this is difficult for you to understand. He takes a deep breath, considering his words carefully. Humans have but one short window of consciousness, which encourages you to think of yourselves as individual points on the line of history. You are, quite clearly, not your parents, or your grandparents, or your unborn children. You are your own marvelous creature. He places his hand on his chest. I do not disappear when this form dies. I am eternal, in a sense. I am all who came before, and I am all who will come after. I am my own legacy. I am symbiosis. What do you really do here? Sim gives you a blank smile. I am a gardener, he says simply. I was created to be a gardener, and I imagine I will be one until my services are no longer required. At your look of confusion, Sim softens. Humanity is so concerned with purpose, he says, sadly. It is because you were not created for one, and you spend the eternity of your short lives under the impression you need one. The concept of someone having a purpose must be seductive. He shrugs one elegant shoulder. My existence is simple. I act in the ways for which I was created. That is not an interesting answer for an individualistic species as yourselves, I am aware. Perhaps we must both accept that it may be beyond the human capacity to comprehend. Yes, but what is your purpose? What does gardener mean? Tell me! He tilts his head to the side, as if listening to something, and squeezes your hand. I fear that I have said too much. I hope I can see you again soon, and that all may be revealed to you. Well, at least it didn't shove us back home. Okay, let's keep looking for stuff. What's up, Utopia? Utopia sent a team of geologists to get a closer look at this region's weird terrain. You come across them working, and Utopia beckons you over. Sabote, she says, drawing everyone's attention to you. Sabote, come here. Everyone, Sabote's been working in this area a while. Sure, he's got plenty of information on what's out there. Geologists politely turn towards you to listen. Here's what we got so far, Utopia says, speaking directly to you. Judging from how the layers of sedimentation are broken up, this place used to be pretty flat for what must have been a ton of earthquake activity, ripping up the land and bringing up these huge ridges. We can date the quakes around the time a lot of these ruins were created, she adds. And we're looking, but we ain't seen anything built after them. Like, that was it for the old Convergent domain. These broken up layers are the same across the planet. Something sure happened about 20,000 years ago. Help them work, +3 engineering. We'll take it. You set up a drone hive to measure the sediment layers along the cliffside and learn a few things about rocks. A little bit extra stress. And that ends. Good, good. Nope. Hold on, hold on. How do we continue? That's Sim. Here we go. That's the place where the anti-stress spawned last time. But it might not be that this time. So we keep looking around. Looking for the boss encounter. Look at the little faces. Yellow flower. Yeah, oh my god, I have so many yellow flowers. And a thumper. Utopia's given you clearance to poke around the ruins in the secret valley. Stars, this place is neat. Dis thinks so too. At least we didn't have to climb back down again, he mutters, but you can tell he's excited. The buildings are arranged in a spiral formation around a central point. They're made of that oil-slick obsidian, something that looks like petrified bone, and have parts missing where some other organic materials have long since rotted away. It's all overgrown with vines and buried in shifting sands. You follow the spokes of the streets until you approach the center of the valley, where a large pyramid-shaped building sits surrounded by thumpers and a variety of other smaller buildings. Let's work our way inward, start with the other buildings. Smaller, more deteriorated pyramid buildings dot around the valley, purposes unknown. There are also dozens of little obelisks, a couple meters wide with a circular design on one side. You approach a random one of these on the edge of the valley. Like the door in Dis's monitoring station. You know what to do. You get right up close to the circle and touch it, and the iris door slides open. Now you're looking through a large, round door into a small, featureless room. Quite small, quite featureless, totally dark, very creepy. But you can hear a faint hum. It's still powered? Bravely walk inside, or nah. Card becomes yellow. I thought that was an empty Gatorade bottle, and I went to pick it up, and I did not pick it up with the strength needed for... okay. That is just straight up... Okay. Oh, we need a lot more than that. The -2 to yellow cards is really annoying. The amounts on here actually really don't matter. They will all add, but then we will still get straights and 4 of a kind. Alright, we're in better shape now. 6, 5. Question. Nope. That prioritizes going to yellow. Alright, not super goal. And worse. Alright, cool. So we'll take that. You walk in, Dis close behind, and suddenly the iris closes. The floor lurches and you're moving down. An elevator! The elevator squeals and grinds away like it hasn't been used in literally thousands of years. It doesn't go far, then grinds to a halt and the iris opens to reveal a large room with obsidian walls. Like all convergent domain spaces, it's more cave than room, with stalactites everywhere and giant lumpy mounds of fungus. You wonder if the obsidian stuff they built with melts over time, running and dripping in extreme slow motion. There are 2 consoles on the walls, like this is some kind of control room, just like in the monitoring station Dis found. Most of it is long, dark, and covered with a thick layer of dust, except one device with 2 weird bony knobby sticks pointing out of it. Grab the 2 sticks, you're starting to get the hang of the convergent domain interfaces. You take hold of the 2 stick thingies and you cease to be yourself. You're like a visual, audio, and weirdly tactile representation of something vast. You have a feeling of being in a large and complex space. No, like you are the space, a digital space like a computer system. As if you were sucked inside a 3D representation of the HoloNet, and you could see files and processes and whole worlds of data, but in alien formats that speak to you more in sensation than logic. You let go of the sticks and the console room comes back. You grab them again and understanding fills your head. It feels not all that different from your bouts of deja vu remembering, like of memories being inserted into your mind, and you suddenly just know how to use this interface. You just think where you want to go or what you want to know, and away you go. The word array comes to mind. A network of computers hosting millions of data nodes. Information on every part of the planet, from weather to soil conditions to individual creatures. Not just computers, but entities that feel intelligent and also digital. Artificial consciousnesses like your ship's AI congruence. They're processing all that data and triggering subroutines to make minute changes on the planet's surface. Then a booming voice enters your brain and obliterates all else, speaking more in abstract thought than words, but loud. What are you doing in Wormhole Observatory Array Console 5? You nosy little creature. Then an explosion in your head and you're thrown backwards and out of the array. There must have also been an explosion in your hands, which are now singed. The console's blown out and dead. You're shaken. Something didn't like you poking around in there. Whatever the array is, whatever lives in it has been watching you, probably ever since you landed. You have a feeling Sim has something to do with this. He's either in league with the array or he's part of it. But knowing Sim, he won't tell you anything until he's ready to. You tell Dis about the array and the voice saying Wormhole Observatory. He looks around, impressed. The converged domain was sure up to some shit, he says. And now you know about the array and how to access it. That could come in very useful if it turns out to be a danger to your colony. You decide to call it a day. Your arms feel all tingly and weak from getting electrocuted and your heart's still thumping a mile a minute, but you'll be back. Oh. I guess maybe that was the main thing to do, like the pyramid and all that would have been just extra. Let's do one more event. Let's go back to that thing that last time was the de-stress, and let's see if that's what spawned there this time. Yo, Sim. Okay. Actually, let me just double check. You don't know nothing about this array, huh? Oh, could you help me calm down? Yeah, cool. We'll take that -5. Utopia has sent you and Dis to study one of the large crystal outcroppings. Up close, you can't help but get a sense that they're alive somehow. They're angular and hard to the touch, but they have a sort of sponginess and warmth to them that's a little disconcerting. They emit a humming noise. Weird, it almost looks like they're breathing. Red, red, and boom. Next round. Red. Sure. Value's wild. Do it up. You notice that they hum the loudest at midday under full sun. The few crystals that have grown under shaded outcroppings are less vibrant than the others. They kind of look like a convergent domain tech, don't they? Like the organic obsidian, or the crystals embedded in the ruins. On a hunch, you cover one up with some ferns. After an hour, it stops vibrating. Something deep inside has gone dormant. It turns clear like the ones that were shadowed naturally. When you remove the fronds, its color returns. Oh, so it's like photosynthesis, but it's not a plant, right? Can we uproot one? They do indeed have roots, but they're really tough. You dig around the base of one and expose them so you can see. They're made of the same glass, but rough and frosted, and warm, much warmer than the surrounding soil. The roots go down deeper than you can dig. You won't be able to remove one without breaking it. I guess we'll try breaking one. You wiggle one like a loose tooth. Wiggle, 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 boom. Oh god. You're thrown by the explosion. When the dust settles and you brush off the shards of warm crystal, you realize that some of the nearby crystals also exploded. Are they connected underground? Yeah, I knew a mycorrhizal network when I see one. They're alive like fungus, but kind of artificial like the convergent domains buildings. I bet they were used to harvest energy from sunlight, like living solar panels. I wonder if they've been growing wild this whole time or if they still power something. But wait, are you okay, Sabote? You dust yourself off and scribble excitedly in your survey notes. This is an important scientific discovery. And now you're too worn out and tired to continue, because that was 30 stress from the explosion. Time to relax. Maybe we can do some training with the hop eye. It's your 17th birthday. But it's not just your birthday. Quiet is a time of new growth, a celebration of life and hope. Not just this year, but for humanity's presence on Vertumna for years to come. You and your friends are the symbol of that hope. Quite literally, you're the future of humanity. As you're all beginning to take your places as adults in the colony, the council has decided to grow a party in your honor, the Vertumnan Youth Ball. Mars is organizing it, of course. You get an embossed invitation on real paper slipped under your door. Yeah, I'm down. You slip into some party clothes and head over to the lounge to celebrate, well, yourselves. And yourself, specifically. It is your birthday, after all. The lounge is all decked out. The decorations look expensive. Must have taken a lot of nanoprinter creds. Your friends are transformed too. Everyone's dressed up and looking like the young adults you're becoming. You can hardly recognize some of them. Mars catches your eye and waves, her bangles jingling joyfully. She looks like a model from her holomags, every inch of her primped, painted, and perfumed. So Bote, happy birthday! I'm glad you can make it, she says, over the steady thrum of the music. Drinks are over there, make your song request a congruence, and take off your shoes! You look down at your boots and back up to Mars skeptically. She rolls her eyes and does a little bounce. Sock hop, just like an Earth, duh! At the refreshment table, Cal is stuffing his face with party food, and Rex shoves 2 glances of punch in your hands. Gotta stay hydrated, he says, pouring himself another glass. We'll be sweating it out one way or another. He winks at you. Gotta stay hydrated. Cool, remember how it was like, oh yeah, we'll do a second, whatever? This first month took half an hour so far. Don't let them fool you, Tangent mutters, joining you. She smacks a glob of something pink and meaty looking on a cracker. It's a well-documented phenomenon that people inexperienced with imbibing alcohol will begin to act as if they're drunk, even if they're completely sober. To Rex, she adds, I mean, of course, that I am not going to suffer any bad behavior. Damn, Tang. You're my type. Rex grins as he pulls a flask out of his vest and pours a healthy addition into his glass. Who says it's gonna be an act? Let's get a little loose. Come on, it's a party. The Rex changes to something with a fast pounding beat. Rex throws his head back and howls. Woo, it's time to dance! Screw it, dance. You, Rex, and Mars take to the dance floor. After a while, Anemone follows, pulling Vase behind her. Fuck Vase. You all dance until it feels like your heart's gonna burst, from excitement, from exertion, from the sheer joy of throwing yourself around the room with your friends. Nomi, who's playing DJ with Congruence, spins up something a lot slower, more romantic. Grab a partner and pull him in close, they announce dreamily. Or whatever distance you both feel comfortable with. Again, first time I was trying to get with Anemone, and I pulled her in, and she played it as very like, oh, haha, we're friends, this is cute, and halfway through, she went and danced with Vase and kissed him, and I went upstairs to Steph and I cried. Sim doesn't remember what happened. No, where's... Everyone giggles awkwardly and shuffles around, feeling the intangible friction of teenage politics. Who dances with whom? Who makes the first move? Where's Rex? Yeah, I'm gonna look for Tangent. I don't think it's gonna be her thing, but maybe we can laugh it off together. Tangent's already shaking her head as you approach her for a dance. Absolutely not, she says. I'm not going anywhere near that sweaty mess. Well, she didn't say she wouldn't dance. She resists you tugging her into a slow dancing position, but relaxes when she realizes you don't intend to take her away from the safety of the refreshment table. She dances with you a little mechanically, her nose turning more pink as the song goes on, and drops her arms immediately when it's done. You follow her gaze to the dance floor, where Anemone and Vase seem to have skipped dancing and gone straight to sucking face. Tang's lip curls. Ugh, thank you for not expecting me to do that. Rex is full-handed with beverages and snacks. Yeah, there we go. I think people are lined up to dance with Rex. I wasn't expecting her to actually go for a dance, though. That's lovely. After the slow songs, Naomi spins Congruence's music library to something with a little more bounce to it. The dance floor once more floods with bodies ready to gyrate the night away. But the tunes are abruptly interrupted by Governor Lum's Here Speak hijacking the feed. Fuck this guy! He strides to the stage, flanked by Security Chief Rhett. Everyone on the dance floor whines in unison about some buzzkill adult stopping the music. But Lum just raises his hands and smiles indulgently. Look at all of you! Young pioneers! I look at you and I see the future, not just of this colony, but of all of humanity. You catch a few people rolling their eyes. You've heard this before. Rhett here? Good man, real good man, really the best of the colony. Oh my god, really, Lum? Good man, really good man, best of the colony. Fuck this guy. Absolutely. I hate him even more now. Shared this poem from a great Earth poet. Now, I'm not one for poetry myself, but damn if it's not something I want to share with you kids tonight on the eve of something really big. He clears his throat and reads from his holopalm. We cannot tarry here. We must bear the brunt of danger. We, the youthful sinewy races, all the rest of us depend. Down the edges, through the passes, up the mountain steep, conquering, holding, daring, venturing as we go the unknown ways. Pioneers, oh pioneers. We primeval forests felling, we the rivers stemming, vexing we and piercing deep the minds within. We the surface broad surveying, we the virgin soil upheaving, pioneers, oh pioneers. Yeah, this is bullshit. Rhett looks a little pained, but Lum continues. What do you think the poem means, kids? I'm not in fucking class! Does it mean we should sit here in our colony, politely waiting for this planet to make a space for us? No, it means we need to get out there, to grab Vertumnum by the balls and make it respect us. He points to you specifically. I need you, the next generation, to lead the charge. This is your planet, and you're old enough now to defend it. I'm asking all eligible fighters to join squads massing at expeditions, to get out there and attack those monsters where they live. We're taking the fight to them. No more hiding behind our walls. To your left, Vase and Anemone lead the cheering that erupts. Lum and Rhett leave and the music spins back up again, but only a few die-hard partygoers still want to dance. Everyone else has broken into small groups to discuss the announcement. I'm pissed. Number one, that he did that during this. Like, do it during Vertinalia or something. But, like, again, I'm happy to try to carve out our space. I don't want to conquer the planet. That's what the fuck happened to Earth. This is bullshit, Cal exclaims, causing a few heads to turn. They're not even going to try to figure out why the animals are attacking us. They're just going to kill, kill, kill. Aren't we supposed to be better than that? Dai clearly agrees, though much more quietly. They don't even know what's up there, he mutters. They have no idea what they're up against. The party fizzles out as everyone drifts away from the lounge. You return to find your parents have stayed up to make sure you got home safe. They've never done that before. You've always been told the colony was safe. Now, you see their grim expressions, and you know that time is over. Okay, let's see if anyone has anything interesting to say. Leaning against the rake. Oh, right, I do need to de-stress. Hey, Sabote, he greets you, giving you a half-hearted wave. Don't worry, he says, indicating the swelling scrape across his cheek. Kind of weird how me and Rex got so clumsy around the Helio kids, huh? He gives you a significant look. Interesting. Was there a tussle going on? I would have liked to be part of it. Especially if we're punching Helios. We get cake at the end of... Oh no, we didn't get cake! Because that was my birthday. Shut up, Mars. Although we can... No, we can still talk to Tammy and get cake. Okay. You like strange devices, and I got a shitload of those on my expedition. And you like mushwood logs, and I have a shitload of those too. Hey, is it just me, or is everyone here just like light speed hot? Seriously, is this something in the water? Cause woohoo! Dang, I'm not gonna howl. He lets out a little howl and laughs, clapping you on the back. Present company included. Engineering 80 helped Rex build something. You know what my hammock needs? An automatic snack delivery system for when my hands are busy. I was thinking, if I hang a big barrel of cookies up here, I could use ramps and pulleys to bring the cookies over here, and they could just roll right into my mouth. Plus 5 to flushes with this card when a plan comes together. It's a bold plan and involves a lot of twisty-turning ramps, gears, levers, swinging arms, and more. It's probably a lot more complicated than it needs to be, but it is hilarious to watch Rex press a button and send a cookie rocketing down a chute and eventually into his mouth. The ground is littered with the cookie detritus of failed runs, but Rex is proud anyway. Works perfect. Thanks for the help. Here, have a stick. Tammy has a cake for us. Alright, same dialogue as last time. Click through that. This first month took so long. Tang. You spot Tang sitting on a large boulder outside the lab. She's eating a pressed soy bar ration with determination, alternating bites with huge gulps of water to wash it down as quickly as possible. What are you doing out here? She stops her grim work long enough to acknowledge your question. I hit the limit on number of consecutive hours they'll allow me to work in the lab, so I'm taking a break, she says, making mocking air quotes around the sentence. Well, that's kind of bullshit. That's what I said. They think they can boss me around because I'm younger. Smarter than any two of them combined. Ugh, I just want to work, you know? It's so frustrating to be deep in the zone and feeling like I'm just on the precipice of a discovery. Then someone tells me that apparently my genius is taking too long. I want them to treat me like I belong there, the way Dr. Instance does, she mutters. She actually respects me. They're just jealous that she likes me more. She slides off the boulder and you see the color bleed from her face as she stumbles into you, nearly crumpling to the ground. Oh, she grits out, leaning over while the dizziness passes. I thought the nutritional uptake of that bar would be quicker than a real meal, especially after taking into account the time required to walk to the cafeteria. She trails off, realizes she's clutching your jacket, and pushes you away. My apologies, she says, brushing herself off. I am, regrettably it seems, only human. Tang scrubs her hands over her face. Sometimes it feels like I'm a prisoner in my own body, like I can feel myself trapped in it, this stinking, sweating bag of meat and bad impulses, stuck with the burden of keeping it alive every day for the rest of my life, and... There's no shame. I think she might be upset with me for pointing it out, but... Are you crying? She scowls and wipes her eyes angrily. Reflexive lacrimation is an evolutionary response to emotional and physical stress. In other words, no, I'm not crying. It's just... This resentment for my physical form, it reminds me of when I was little, and Instance used the genotech to give me this body. The right body. Only this body's wrong, too. It's right in a lot of ways, but it's still imperfect. It's still human. Oh shit, I didn't know Tang was trans. Good for her. And good for a society that is able to do that, like, in... First off, no stigma. Like, good for the society to do that. And, well, I assume that that's what is meant by the right body, right? And to do so at, like, such a young age and to just be boom, right? I don't know. I mean, I don't know the details, but good for her. Anyway, still human. If I were an AI, everything would be more simple. I could just do my work. I could just do what I'm good at. No messy biological functions, no emotions, just clear and beautiful purpose. I hate this. I hate feeling like this. I'm gonna look at a guide and see if this is an okay flirt. Hold on, can I save? I think you're beautiful in this body. Nope. People finding me attractive makes everything all better. I wouldn't expect you to understand the pain of being trapped in your own body. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Okay, let's make the same decisions as they go through here. How dare they? We'll still say that one. I'm always here to listen, Tang. That's kind of what I figured would be the way to go. We're learning and having fun at once. And normally I'm like, I make a choice, I do it. But like this is... I'll save scum that. Cheating, but whatever. Tangent makes a watery smile as she wipes her eyes. Thanks, she says. I apologize for being all wet on you. It won't happen again. She wipes her eyes and strengthens her jacket, then takes a deep breath and holds it for 10 seconds, her eyes closed. By the time she opens them again, she looks ready to go back to work as if nothing happened. You admire Tangent's determination, but sometimes you think it might come at a price. Cool. Intelligent to silly is a sliding scale? I don't know about that. Kind of done dealing with Anemone too if she's gonna shit talk Cal like that. Okay, what? Oh, Dis. You catch Dis on a ridge overlooking the wilderness, bobbing his head along to something playing through his hearspeak. He doesn't notice you walk up. He jumps when you tap him on the shoulder and scrambles to turn off his holopomp. Don't sneak up on me like that, he grumbles, then flops backwards on the grass to look up at you. Man, I was just getting to the good part of the song. What are you listening to? Just some old music from Earth. You probably wouldn't like it. Try me. You sit down beside Dis and extend your hand to link your holopalms. He stares at you for a few seconds before pressing his palm to yours, and music floods your brain through your hearspeak. Dis takes his hand back and leaves his fingers together, timid. I listen to a lot of Earth music. Do you like it? I love this band. Disc cracks a small smile, relieved. It's my favorite right now. I always listen to the same album on repeat. It's comfort music. I really like her voice. He stares into his lap. Sometimes I feel like the lyrics are about me, he admits. They're just so deep, like my soul really gets this kind of music. But don't tell anyone, okay? It makes me feel better thinking that someone knows my pain, even if it's just a dead earth woman. Sounds deep, man. Dis nods and closes his eyes. Yeah, I have a lot of time to think, not like everyone else here. You lie back in the grass and listen to Dis's music for a while. I'll hold his hand. You reach out tentatively and link just your pinky fingers with Dis, feeling him tense up beside you. He darts you a nervous glance, then looks back up at the sky when he sees you looking back at him. His cheeks go completely red. He doesn't hold your hand, but he doesn't move his away either. That one I did do last time, so I knew that little bit. That's that art. Hundreds of fanfics born. And they've already got a soundtrack. Okay, we did exploring. Oh, we need to relax. Let's relax in geoponics, train one or both of our pets. You play with your hop solo while you hang out in the gardens. They're pretty well behaved, never straying too far into the underbrush and always coming back when you call their name. Another Hopeye shyly approaches out of the long grass. Your Hopeye goes totally still, then lets out a happy chitter and bounces off to greet the stranger. They touch noses, then hop around each other twice. They disappear for a few moments into the underbrush, long enough that you begin to get concerned. Finally, Hop Solo bounces back to you and nuzzles against your leg. They want to be picked up and cuddled, so you pop them underneath your shirt and carry them like a baby the rest of the way. And then the other... Oh, cool, so we get to do both. You've been working with Squidly Botason for months on getting them to follow simple commands. You're getting pretty consistent results with one or two at a time, but they get bored and wander away if you try to do a longer session. You set up a small obstacle course in the garden consisting of a few ramps and balancing beams. Squidly Botason looks at the treats in your hands expectantly. Let's run that obstacle course. Okay, card will become red. 3... If I do this... Okay, red overrides that. These are not great cards. Let's redraw the hand. That's better. Holy crap. As long as we get nice high reds to go at the end. Wait, why did that go down? Oh, because it went up to 11 and then minus to cards with higher values. Okay. Then let's do... Is that better or worse? Yeah, that helps. Okay. So now... That does have the highest value. Let's just load it up with numbers. There we go. A stunning show from young Squidly Botason. Admirable speed and dexterity. They and their trainer Sobote are promising new stars in the field of Ricky training. Yay, plus 5 bonus to straights. Squidly Botason finishes the course and leaps into your arms, chittering happily. You did it! You've trained a Ricky to follow commands. You hear a commotion over by the geoponics domes, the kind that makes you drop your shovel and sprint over there. Oh, shit. There's a crowd at the entrance to the domes. Governor Lum, Rhett, Cal, and a handful of agriculturists form a semicircle around the entrance, looking up at... Oh no, it's Socks. She's perched over the door, her back arched with fear as her great body grapples up the side of the geodesic dome. You can hear the glass cracking under the strain. She's clicking her teeth and emitting a scared, mournful howl from deep in her belly. You see your mother in the crowd and your stomach plummets. She's going to be so angry when she finds out you and Cal have been hiding Socks from her this whole time. Cal is between the mob and Socks, his arms spread wide. Please don't hurt her. She's my pet. I promise she's not dangerous. It's an alien monster, Lum snarls. Fuck this guy. It's not a pet. It's the enemy. Chief Rat, I command you to destroy it. Rat levels his laser rifle at the daily pillar. Wait! All eyes turn towards you, but before you can say another word, your mom sighs and steps in front of you. Cal's right, she says. This monster's been living under your nose for years. If she was dangerous, we'd know. Cal drops his arms. Wait, you knew about Socks? That's right, Mom wasn't alive before, so she's able to, like, help defend? When I first did this, Mom wasn't able to help? Ah! Your mom puts her hands on her hips and gives Cal a rueful smile. Did you seriously think you could hide a dragon from me, Cal? On my watch? In my barn? I've known about your pet since before the Helio arrived, she continues. How do you think he stayed hidden so long? In retrospect, it is kind of unbelievable that no one discovered the massive pink dinosaur caterpillar till now. Cal is at a loss for words. Your mom puts her hand on his shoulder and addresses the crowd. I will vouch for the creature. Cal has done an admirable job in caring for her. In my professional opinion, she poses no threat, other than accidentally due to her size. She looks up at Socks. She is getting pretty big, Cal. Might be time to release her into the wild. She's trained, I can prove it. Hell yeah, animals. You push through the crowd and stand before Socks, who looks down at you with curious affection. You raise your hand as she chitters and shakes out her fringe. Socks, down, you command, and Socks obediently slinks down from the geodesic dome. She circles her great body around you, watching you intently. Everyone takes a few steps back from the huge daily pillar. Sit, you continue, and the crowd gasps as Socks leans back and pulls her front half to its full height, towering over your heads. Lie down, you order, and she flumps to the ground, spraying gravel and dirt at the crowd. Roll over, you say, making a rolling gesture with your hand, and Socks writhes until her many, many feet are wiggling in the air. She looks up at you, upside down, her mouth lolling open in something like a smile. Chief Cultivator, Mom. One more trick, you say, pointing at Lum. Socks, attack. Socks flips to her feet with alarming speed and snarls, charging towards Lum. Everyone screams and scatters, except for Lum, who freezes and cowers where he stands, and Rhett, who raises his rifle. Stop, you command. And Socks stops dead in her tracks, her face inches from Lum's face. Her breath whooshes over him, rustling his hair. There is only shocked, still silence. Lum's mouth quivers with fear, then confusion. Well, what are you waiting for? He commands. Shoot it! For a few tense seconds, you worry that Rhett will pull the trigger. The moment passes, and Security Chief Rhett slowly lowers his rifle. That's incredible, he says. You have this monster perfectly trained. Does it hunt? Will it follow directions at the expense of its own safety? Rhett turns to Lum. We could use the creature, he says. It may be useful in defending the colony. Only for defense, Cal pipes up. She's not a weapon. She's a living, breathing animal, and she has rights. Sorry, hold on. New art for Cal. Only for defense, Cal pipes up. She's not a weapon. She's a living, breathing animal, and she has rights. Yeah, like Cal's not 13 anymore. Lum sets his jaw. Fine, he says, backing away from Socks. Rhett, you're responsible for the creature. I'm done with this. He turns on his heel and stalks away, muttering under his breath. Yay! But Cal whoops and runs over to Socks to throw his arms around her neck. She trills in relief and taps her many feet against the ground. Whoop, her body rippling like a wave. Sapote, thank you, he cheers, then laughs at Socks as Socks sweeps him off his feet. The crowd disperses, though some hang around to watch and wonder as Cal plays with his dilly pillar friend. Oh god, that was so good. Alright, we'll get rid of that one. Plus 2 the last card ain't bad, but eh. Okay, what's... God, that was... We're having such an eventful year as compared to the previous year. But like, cool, that was relaxing. Training 2 things and also Socks. You spot Cal moving with purpose through the gardens. He stops and gives you a little wave. Hey, Sabote! Holy shit, that's big. Legit. How was that hidden? The barn was never used. Nobody had any reason to go in the barn, except for Mom, obviously. Where are you going? Cal shoulders Sasaki's carrying. I'm taking the food to Socks. You want to come and see her? You do. It's been a while since he's seen the old girl. Okay, that's not playing out exactly whatever. You and Cal go out past the walls to the pen that they erected for Socks. She trills when she sees you both, unfurling her great body from where it's curled around the post in the middle of the pen. Her harness and lead jangle as she slithers over to Cal and twines around him. Hey girl, you hungry? Socks vocalizes happily when Cal starts taking head-sized rocks out of his sack. He tosses them up to her and she snaps them out of the air, pulverizing them in a shower of gravel with her massive jaws. You even do a few as well, lurching Cal on her back as she cavorts around the pen chasing them. Whoa! Easy there, it's a lot farther down than it used to be. Is it right to keep her tied up like this? Cal slips down from Socks' back and stands with his cheek pressed against her chest. I don't know, he murmurs, stroking her scales. She purrs, a bassy rumble you can feel in your guts. It's better than letting her be killed, I guess, but it's kind of wrong that we're making her fight against other animals. I don't know what to think, honestly. I mean, she might be, like, tied up, but it's entirely willing. If she wanted to leave, she could. She is going to grow up to traverse mountains. Okay, do we want to go on an expedition, or do we want to do... What do we want to do? I don't think anything is really close to hitting any of those. Oh, actually, let's get engineering topped off. We're so close to a perk on engineering. And maybe get a little bit more friendship with Tang along the way. Assistant medbay is biology and empathy. Repair robots, engineering, creativity. Yeah. Tang flags you down in the hallway. Oh, Sabote, you got a moment? You go out on expeditions sometimes, right? She asked. At least far more than I do, or would ever wish to. So would you mind doing me a favor? Yeah, of course. It's a small thing, really, and I'm to understand it's not terribly dangerous either. I simply need you to bring me some hop-eye eggs the next time you come across a nest out there. I'd ask this, but... Why? For science, obviously. It's on a need-to-know basis and you don't need to know. Just bring me some eggs, or you can tell the chief engineer why you're holding me back. Okay, no need to be rude. I'll keep an eye out. That's all I ask. They're quite common if the reports from the foragers are to be believed. They tell me they're commonly found in nests in the Valley of Vertigo. It's positively lousy with them. Okay, yeah, we'll just poof, poof. 72? God. Alright, engineering is maxed. Oh, that's a friendship with Nomi thing. I thought that was a friendship with Tang thing. Alright, Valley of Vertigo then for some hop-eye eggs. We have a quest. Extra gear slot. Oh! Hell yeah. Gear. Plus bonus to pairs. And gain less stress. Alright, yeah, absolutely. So Valley of Vertigo. Wait. Grab the egg. Forage in the valley. You report to the expeditions tent to find not just Utopia, but Security Chief Rhett and Vase as well. I just can't spare any more of my people, Utopia's explaining to them. You already pulled most of the foragers, and we're already running skint crews in the ridges as it is. There's one person you can spare, Rhett replies, turning to face you. Hello, Sabote. How'd you like to transfer onto one of my hunting parties? Utopia tells me you're one of her best explorers. We could use someone like you. He indicates Vase. I need someone who can keep up with this one. Vase puffs his chest out proudly. Yeah, right? And why do we need to go out hunting them? Face laughs. Because they're killing us, Sabote. Keep up. He clenches his fist. It's a classic struggle between humanity and nature. Nature's not all flowers and rainbows. On Earth, everything and everyone was trying to kill each other. For survival, for food, hell, even just for fun. Can't wait to bag a real trophy Xeno. First 10-point buck on Vertumna. Okay, so last time I said no. But I would like the chance to go in the swamp. And maybe we can fuck him up and just keep him from accomplishing what he wants. So, sure. Rhett nods. Good, I'm glad to hear that. But first, I need to make sure you know the basics. Vase, bring out the Vricky. Vase goes over to a tent and brings back the Vricky on a long chain. It's sprightly and bright-eyed. Some might even say cute, and comes up nearly to your waist. Vase looks proud of his duty as monster bearer. I caught this one myself, Rhett tells you. I'm adding it to the training zoo, so don't kill it, but feel free to give it a few pokes. Then tell me what are its weaknesses, its strengths, how would you defeat it in a fight? Well, we're gonna analyze it. Five. We'll do that just to get the 5. +2 to a red card to the right, so we'll just load it up. I don't really care. Actually, there we go. You study the creature for a long time. It looks nervous, skittering from side to side and making a clicking noise. You throw a stick at it and it leaps up to grab it in its mandibles. It angrily tears it in half, then glares at you. You think about your own pet, Squidly Botason. This one's larger and fungus-like, maybe even close to the end of the mobile part of its life cycle. You know that one day all Vricky must take root and become nurse trees for the next generation. You rattle off some other facts you've learned from playing with Squidly Botason, and Rhett nods. With your pet Vricky right there, I know, right? Good, Rhett says. Let's see if you're as good at hunting these as you are at identifying them. Come join the hunting squad next month. We'll see how you do in the swamps. Like, really don't want to go just hunting for animals. But it'll be interesting to be able to explore out there. Good, there's Sim. A lot of Vricky events. Sim materializes out of the forest before you. Sabote, he says gravely. Oh, sorry, Sabote, he says gravely. Forgive my directness, but you must come with me now. Please trust me when I say I have done my best to argue on behalf of your kind. I hope only for the continued survival of humanity. Ominous. He crouches down to slide into a hidden opening under the roots of a tree. You follow, feeling strangely as if you're crawling into the belly of some animal. You emerge into a cave filled with the hum of strange machinery. A bank of ancient-looking control panels and a crystal tank of glowing liquid seem almost to have grown out of the natural rock. Mineral deposits from moisture trickling down the walls have reclaimed some of them. 30% off. W.GG, use code BOTERBUG. Thank you, Nightbot. Wait, did you do that as I was drinking, Nightbot? That was incredible. Sim leads you to a console. This is the array, he says, pressing what seems to be buttons. As I've explained, this body I wear is only a vessel. My consciousness, the person who I am, is stored in the array. I return to it regularly, storing my body in the regeneration tank while I back up what I've learned that day into the array. Physical forms are prone to injury and death, Sim says quietly. It is temporary but highly unpleasant. Therefore, the Overseer prefers to remain in the array. Sim directs you to 2 weirdly fungal growths. Please take hold of these interface handles. You cautiously touch the handles and say, I'm with the Overseer, bodies are icky. I don't know how I feel about this, knowing that I got blasted back on one time. Nothing to be afraid of. Just a little mind-matter interface. A strange presence speaks in your head. We'll play it cool. You can feel the Overseer pause, then a sensation in your mind that reminds you of someone clearing their throat. Oh, sorry, this is a different voice. I am the Overseer, the voice continues. I speak for the gardeners. We will now show you what we are. I'm ready. Shit, I didn't get this. You have the oddest feeling of memories being inserted into your mind. first a trickle, then a flood. A civilization called the Convergent Domain once existed on this planet over 20,000 years ago. In your mind, you see their dominion stretch from pole to pole, their farms and solar arrays glittering on the surface as their massive cities tunneled below. I already know about the domain. We are aware of that, the Overseer replies, its voice dry in your mind. We know most everything that happens on this planet. The Convergent Domain created the Gardeners as their ecological control system. I lose my voice at the bottom of the register on this one. I need to maybe pitch this up just a little. A vast network of artificial intelligences stored deep underground in a digital array. Self-propagating control towers and cloning stations were seeded, allowing a gardener program to take biological form, downloading a copy of its consciousness into a host body, created to suit the task at hand. You think of Sim, his body created to suit the task of befriending you? Under the direction of the Convergent Domain, the gardeners controlled the weather, the acidity of the soil, the cultivated species in their farms, and the rapidly shrinking wild areas of the planet. The Overseer doesn't quite sigh, but you get the impression it would. Over time, the Domain nearly destroyed this planet. They didn't respect nature. Correct. They saw the natural world as an unending buffet of resources. The exhaust from their factories blanketed the planet, choking out sunlight and oxygen. They consumed too much, destroyed the planet's ecosystem, then fought bitterly over the remaining resources. The last directive the gardeners were given by the Domain was to repair the planet's destroyed ecosystem, the Overseer says solemnly. The gardeners tried, but it was too late. When the crops failed and the atmosphere became too thick for sunlight to pierce, the Convergent Domain perished by the billions. The last survivors took to the sky in colony ships and never returned. You try to imagine a tragedy on this scale, but it's too enormous, too abstract to wrap your head around. The Overseer continues relentlessly, new thoughts flooding into your mind. Over the millennia, the gardeners took their tasks seriously. It takes little effort to render a planet inhospitable, but significant dedication to restore it. Under the guidance of the gardeners, in the final directive of the Convergent Domain, nature at last reclaimed the barren planet. The garden existed in perfect balance, and now your species has invaded it. We had nowhere else to go. We were escaping our own calamity. Your kind had the option to stay where they were, the Overseer replies, the tone of his thoughts darkening. Do you think we have empathy for the Convergent Domain who fled on colony ships? The ones who selfishly refused to give their bodies back to the planet they destroyed with their pride? You chose to come here, the Overseer continues, and you continue to stay here. You could instead choose to die. You shudder involuntarily. Some vertumnant species have a technique of future sight, which the gardeners harness to catch glimpses in the web of timelines. We see that you possess this technique too, alone in your kind. We have foreseen that humans pose a great danger to this planet. You are a monoculture, an invasive species. You throw our hard-won balance in disarray. Since arriving, you have shown nothing but a willingness to consume the planet's resources and replace them with more humans. We have as much a right to live as anything. Your mind fills with images of species rising and going extinct over thousands of years. Animals with their short lives are ignorant creatures. They care only for survival and for the survival of their children. They have no concept of a legacy that spans the lifetime of a planet. They cannot be blamed, for living is their only purpose, Oh shit, that callback to being born with purpose that Sim was talking to us about. But humans are animals with the power of gods. You consume recklessly, and your ceaseless fear of death fouls your every action. You shape the planet. You bend nature to your will, thinking only of yourselves. This is a power no animal should have. Most gardeners would prefer to stamp you humans out like encroaching weeds, the overseer says without malice. Indeed, we have tried, using ecologically compliant organic methods. We are impressed at your tenacity to withstand these eradication procedures. The yearly attacks, the famine, the pollen, not random natural occurrences at all, but gardeners' tactics to encourage the eradication of pests. But symbiosis speaks in defense of your kind, and took effort to convince us that you were sentient and capable of communication. You present us with a quandary. You come from the stars, refugees of a catastrophe of your own design, one that you are intent to recreate here, on a planet which still bears the scars of the last time it was used carelessly. So we ask, what are we to do with you? 100% we can change. Help us. Like, this one, maybe. Like, I think if Dis was here, this is what he would say. This is Vase and all that. No, we can change. Help us. So we teach your kind to be stewards of nature, Overseer replies. Perhaps your children take up the mantle as well, and their children. But soon you are dead, as are your children's children. Generations pass. No one alive remembers the time the gardeners came to the humans and taught them the proper way to live. And now there are too many of you to teach, and your behavior too entrenched. What then? Genocide? You have no answer. Holy shit. There is silence in your head, and you only hear the sounds of water trickling down the cave walls and the gentle hum of machines. Eventually, the Overseer speaks in your mind one last time. For now, you may leave freely. We will consider this quandary, and we will be monitoring you and the other humans. You feel a strange pull at your consciousness as you remove your hands from the interface. There you have it, Sim murmurs. That is my boss. Yeah, like, I'd seen, not necessarily spoilers even, but like mention and seeing stuff in communities of the Convergent Domain and the Gardeners and stuff like that, but this is my first time like seeing it in game, and wow. I'm terrified. That is the correct response. It's why I wanted you to know the truth. He walks over and runs his hands over the consoles. And now you know how to connect to the array, he says quietly. But you should not come here unless I am with you. Sim takes your hands and looks at you solemnly. When you interface with the array, you hold everything we are in your hands. It took a great deal of negotiating to convince my fellow gardeners to trust you with this power. Please do not prove this trust mistaken. Yeah, we knew AI construct. Why is that? Okay, so we're looking for a Hop-Eye event. Oh, that's the way we came. Hey Sim, can you make me calm? So hopefully we would actually see it as Hop-Eye. Grab the bobber fruit. Oh, that's a manticore. That might send me back to home before I get the chance to, Oh, cool, there's a Hop-Eye. let's do this first. You spot a hop eye nest, just like Tangent asked you to find. There are 9 eggs inside, all packaged up in what looks like a delicate spun glass cocoon. You don't see the planet. You don't see the parents. Steal some eggs. You break a little hole in the cocoon and put 3 of the eggs in your bag. They're a little gooey. You hope they don't break. You turn to leave and come face to face with an adult hop eye. Understandably, it looks spittin' mad. It drums its powerful foot on the ground in warning, and 4 more pop out of the undergrowth and start hissing at you. You should have known these sociable little creatures raise their youngs communally. Use animal psychology. You've learned from the Holopedia that the two different sets of eyes on a hop eye have different purposes. The large bulging eyes on top are hardwired for perceiving danger, but the small forward-facing ones are more concerned with finding food. If you're not food and you're not danger, you throw yourself onto your belly and wriggle away while the hop eye stare at you curiously. When you're a safe distance away, they return to poking at their violated nest in confusion. Wow. Okay, okay. Let's see if there's anything else up here. Then we'll do that boss event. And then basically anything that we could gain in most of the unscripted events out here, not really worth it. So I think we'll head back to the colony. Also, like, time concerns. It's what, 12:30? It's 12:53, and it's just barely pollen. Okay, we need to get this going. Gotta go. Sounds good, Shady Cats. Feel free to watch the VOD for the rest, and last week's is still up too. You come across a terrible scene. A manticore has cornered a little hop eye and playing with it, batting it around and catching it over and over. The hop eye is screeching in terror. It's a horrible thing to watch. I mean, this is nature. I mean, watch what happens. The manticore bats the hop eye around for 10 minutes. Eventually, it stops trying to escape and just lies on its side, trying to play dead. But you can see its little sides huffing in and out as it hyperventilates. The manticore nudges it a couple times, looking bored, and for a second you think the hop eye might live. Then the manticore picks it up in its mouth, crunches down and breaks the hop eye's neck, then drops it on the ground and stalks off into the jungle. Not to eat it? You wait to make sure the manticore is gone, then climb down and look over the poor mangled body. Didn't even eat it. Nature's awful. Yeah, like you complain to us and then you let stuff come around that does that? Now let's go home. We'll see what else we want to do. So we'll drop this off at Tang. You browse in the colony bulletin board on your holopalm over breakfast when you notice a new post from Nomi. It seems to be a short story. The title is Xenos to the Rescue! Oh boy. You open the story and read through it. Wow, it's actually pretty good. Nomi did a great job at grounding the unrealistic premise of talking manticores with relatable characters and a strong emotional story. With your help on some of the finer details, Nomi's written something that truly elevates the art form. Yeah, I wasn't able to help them with it before. So this came out like kind of cheesy, but but you get the notification through your holopalm that you've received some kudos along with a message from Nomi. Thanks for the help, Sabote. Here's your royalties. Cool. Oh god, how thick the air gets in mid-pollen. Okay, everyone's fine here. Tang, I got your thing. So we're at war then, Tang says, fiddling with her microscope. I'm of mixed feelings. First of all, nature's been at war with us since the day we landed, so if it takes an official declaration in order to secure more resources for engineering, I accept it. Welcome to the good fight, administration. She pulls back from the microscope and blinks, rubbing her eyes. On the other hand, it's ridiculous to declare war on an intangible enemy. One may as well declare war on aging. Yeah, so the things that I have, I guess I have to do an engineering thing to give her the eggs back. So let's see what we got. Assist in medbay. This is biology and empathy. Engineering, creativity. Tutor children is reasoning, empathy. Let's do that. Let's get our reasoning even higher. You helping Tammy brush up on her math and chemistry. Antecedent says I need to measure when I'm baking, she says, staring timidly at her hands. But when I'm baking, I just go by how the dough feels or looks and smells, and it always works out. When I try to measure and think too hard, I get it wrong. She tugs on her ear. She told me if I want to do it by feel, then I need to get better at chemistry too. She showed me this long textbook about food chemistry and how proteins combine to form gluten and how acid makes things fluffy and soft. I didn't know any of that. Aren't acids bad? Why would I put them in food? Go easy on her. She'll never learn if she isn't enjoying it. You gently encourage Tammy as you read through the food chemistry textbook together and work on some practice tests, even when she gets every question wrong. Though she'll probably never be a chemistry whiz like Tang, she blossoms with every compliment, slowly gaining confidence in her abilities. This isn't as scary as I thought it'd be. Thanks, Sabote! When the lesson is over, she bakes you a cake to show you what she's learned. She didn't really understand the lessons, but she has the confidence to taste it as she goes and adjust the recipe based on gut feeling, now informed by some solid book learning. Did she learn anything about math or chemistry? Maybe not, but she's a better baker now, and that was her goal. She happily gives you a piece in thanks for being such a good teacher. It's not bad, but you aren't sure she should be thanking you. Cake! Card becomes blue. Nice. Honk. Boom. Actually, hold on. I mean, super goal anyway, right? But whatever. Ton of reasoning, a little bit of empathy. You find Tangent in engineering and set down the bag of squelchy, goopy hop-eye eggs. Her eyes go wide. You found them, she exclaims. That's wonderful. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten all about my request. I did it in the same month. She reaches for the eggs but stops. Wait, what's that sound? Are they... They are. You hear a wet cracking sound coming from the bag. You're about to witness the miracle of life for Tumnus style. What do? Analyze the process. You pull out your holopalm and prepare to take notes. Why miss this opportunity? You and Tang watch in wonder as the gel-like shell of the largest hop-eye egg splits open like a ripe melon in the sun, spilling out a tiny... Oh my god! You and Tang watch in wonder as the gel-like shell of the largest hop-eye egg splits like a ripe melon in the sun, spilling out a tiny, squirming pink baby in a small puddle of amniotic fluid. Watch and wonder, gel, shell... Oh my god. That was an awful sentence. You watch the last two eggs intently, but through the clear eggshells you can't see any movement inside at all, not even a heartbeat. It's okay, Tang says. We only need one. The tiny hop-eye is on its foot within minutes, taking cautious little hops on the sleek surface of the lab bench. Magnificent, Tangent says, keeping the palm-sized hop-eye from falling off the table. I expected them to be helpless at birth, like kittens or birds, not already moving around like an ungulate. Incredible, I can't wait to study it. It's yours. Loyalty, kudos, help Tangent. Oh, come on, I want friendship with Tangent! Perfect, let me get a specimen container for it. She blinks at you with the tiny... She leaves you with the tiny, clumsy thing, which chirps and blinks up at you unevenly with its 4 eyes. Well, whatever Tang and Dr. Instance are going to do with it, it's probably for the greater good of the colony. Okay, quick check. Anyone got chats? Nomi! Nomi's in their usual spot in the lounge, surrounded by their steadily growing collection of body pillows and stuffed animals. They're curled up with their arms around a giant plushy creature and seem to be scrolling listlessly through the movies available in the Colony Media Archive. You okay? No. I've been betrayed. I finished all of Maidstocker Ares and it ended on a cliffhanger. They tip over onto their side, clutching their plushie to their chest in anguish. I didn't know that the stratosphere had left Earth before the series finished airing, Nomi whines. You have every episode except for the 2-parter season finale. They bury their face against the plushie. No, we'll never know how it ends. It's not fair that we'll never have any new shows to watch. Sounds rough, buddy. This isn't about the show, is it? Nomi wipes their eyes and heaves a big sigh. Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. It just reminds me that... They pick at a thread of their plushie. You know, they continue quietly, that, everything ends and sometimes it's a lot sooner than you expected. When I got here, I remember looking at your huge media library and thinking, wow, Galactic, I'm never going to run out of things to watch. It felt like the whole world was still ahead of me, ready to be discovered. A new planet, new people, a new life. Nomi digs their fingers into the plushie. Now it feels like everything's just on fire all the time, and everyone's always on my case about how I need to grow up. What's so bad about being innocent? Why does everything have to be so grim all the time? Oh, I didn't realize they were that much younger than us. I thought maybe, oh, 2 years. Still. They wipe their eyes again angrily. And I don't get any more episodes of the stupid show I like. It's not fair. I get that. It's hard. Nomi nods, their chin wobbling as they try to keep it together. Yeah, they say, tipping their head up to the ceiling and trying to put on a brave smile. Thanks for getting us, Sabote. Okay, so let's do a thing. What do we... Maybe we just keep working on reasoning. See if we have anything else in the... Well, robotics labs... Study humanities, that's creativity, persuasion, engineering, reasoning, engineering, creativity, friends with Nomi Nomi. Let's do this. We get that plus to empathy, more friendship with Tangent. This month you mostly treat cuts and scrapes and give out medicine for pain and anxiety. It's easy, boring work, but that's the best kind. No one likes it when medbay's busy. Cards with gems are wild. Damn. Hold on. Get that out of here. Let's do +1 skill on a blue challenge win. There we go. We don't need the +8 biology. We're already maxed on that. It's a shame I couldn't put the +1 from the thing to empathy instead. Okay. Maybe we can focus on another area of stuff right now. Nothing. Well, bravery's getting a little close to another perk. No one's really saying anything. I should have like a list of jobs in front of me that lists what all the jobs add. Like, oh, I want something that adds bravery. And like, all right, cool. +2 bravery on that. And then heading out and about. Other than that, I don't really think there's a whole lot. Toughness. Biology toughness. Biology organizing. Organizing kind of. Animals empathy. Let's do more animal stuff. You and Cal have a deep conversation about the ethics of raising animals for food, both for their products like berries and milk and for their meat. Cal's dead set against eating meat as usual, but he's only conflicted about animal products. He says he's learned how to get used to the idea, even though it grossed him out at first. Play the photo adds bravery. Oh, it does! Okay. We can do that next time, because I wouldn't mind creativity as well. +5 to flushes with this card. Well, then I'll make sure that there's a +5. The year's Vertumnalia is ushered in with a big military band. Boo! Horns and drums, supplemented by recordings of parade music from Earth. Governor Lum strides out of command on a grand red carpet and ascends the stage to raucous applause. I'm sorry, everyone. The first year was an hour and a half, and now an hour and a half later, we're halfway through the next year. Thank you, everyone, he calls out over the din. Look at you. Look at this colony, finally truly united. All it took was a common enemy, he declares. I look at you beautiful people, you strong people, you good human people, and I see a fire in your eyes. I see courage in your hearts. I see a colony that's ready to win. Oh, I spit on the... I see a colony that's here to stay, Vertumna. Do you hear me? He raises his arms and roars. Do you hear me, Vertumna? We humans aren't going to hide anymore. Yeah, damn 17 is a lot going on. Lum gestures for Security Chief Rhett to join him on stage, then continues. The original fugitive colonists got it wrong. In Roman mythology, Vertumnus was the god of cultivation, not of rampant chaotic growth. He clenches his hand into a fist. We need to clear the field before we can plow it. Vertumna won't be safe for human life until the aliens are eradicated. Rhett crosses his arms and nods in agreement. Maybe there's more to this plan than Lum is letting on. Lum descends from the stage and does a receiving line of handshakes and fist bumps. In the vacuum left by his presence, Chief Administrator Seek takes the podium and clears her throat. I want to announce that this will be the last year that festival contests will be held. What? A sound of protest rises from the crowd, and near the front, Lum just shrugs theatrically and mouths, "Not my fault." Seek looks down at him pointedly, then continues, "This war will use our colony resources at a tremendous rate, including the most valuable, time. And I've got some good news," Lum adds, jumping back up on stage. "This one's really gonna knock your socks off. The colony has its first pregnancy!" The crowd murmurs in excitement, and Lum beckons Tammy to join him. "Everyone give a round of applause for Aspartame, for Tumna's first mother!" Tammy is beet red all the way to the tips of her ears, but she dutifully does a little twirl so Lum can show her off. "Look at her!" he exclaims. "So vibrant, so healthy, just like our young colony. We're so proud of you, Tammy. Your child is going to join the ranks of the greatest species the universe has ever seen. Humans! 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 Let me hear you, Vertumna!" Wait, Tammy's pregnant? Tammy descends from the stage into a gaggle of surprised and excited friends. "OMG, is it really true?" Mars asks immediately, taking Tammy by the hands. "Yes," Tammy exclaims, like the secret is bursting out of her. "I'm finally going to be a mommy, just like Aunt Anne." Take a good look at Tammy. You haven't seen a pregnant person in years, not since you landed at least. Aren't they supposed to glow? Tammy looks radiant with pride and excitement. Looking more closely, you realize that her dress is starting to curve out around the belly. Every baby born to the colony, even you and your friends, is a complex arrangement of inherited, donated, and altered genes, and sometimes not even related to their parents. If the council let Tammy have a baby, does that mean that there will be more soon? Cal runs over from where he was standing with his family and sweeps Tammy up in a big hug, twirling her around. "I'm so proud of you," he exclaims, then rests his hands gently on her belly. "Sorry, too much spin? You okay, little hot pie?" They look at each other adoringly. Aww. As you stand around and marvel at Tammy's news, the adults all start putting away the chairs and setting up for the games and contests. Mars puts her hands on her hips. "So, what does everyone think about this war on nature?" "I think it's stupid," Cal says immediately. "I know survival is important, but we don't have to kill things to survive here." Mars rolls her eyes. "Duh, of course you'd think that. Personally, I think Lum's a total nullhead. He's not that much older than me. What is he, like 24? And everyone listens to him? They should listen to me instead." "I'm sorry, really? It's Lum? There's no way Lum is in his early to mid-20s. What the fuck? Where even is he?" "Exactly. Okay, cool." "Finally, you're all called to participate in the games. The last ones, maybe forever. If this war on nature ever ends, you'll probably be an adult. As your friends all separate into their usual games, you realize that this may be the last time that you just get to be kids." Trivia. Here we go. Tangent's out for blood this year. She snaps at anyone who tries to talk to her before trivia begins, and complains that she's been cramming so hard on pop culture that she feels like her brain's about to explode. Meanwhile, Nomi Nomi just bobs along to the music in their hearspeak as they wait, totally unbothered. Okay, they're not forcing a card on us. Oh, I don't need to do that with a wild. It just drops in there. I was going to, like, make that an 8. That's entirely unnecessary. That's fine. Alright. Next. Ooh, I was going to do 3, 4, 5, 6. But I think we do that. And that. God, this is such easy mode when blue is wild. Make sure we get that -5 stress. Tang's cramming clearly paid off for her. She's strong competition until the category about old earth slang, where you clearly pull ahead. You snatch victory from her clutches, and she grudgingly accepts your superiority in all things trivia. After the festivities, everyone's supposed to take a few days vacation. You and your friends relax, but the adults move around the colony like ants in a hive, fortifying the walls and preparing for the human offensive against the planet. What are we doing on time? I mean, it's going to be a long stream, but we're going to play this out. I think I'm going to upload the VODs as is to YouTube. Just so that they're there, people that might have missed them. Because I'm enjoying this playthrough a lot. And I'm not going to cut it up like a Butter plays something into half-hour episodes and whatever. It's just, boom, here's a VOD upload. People that might have missed this or that or the other thing. So I think we'll get them all up there. Probably for some programming during St. Jude where I don't do as much YouTube, so... Tammy's sweeping the front stoop of the lounge, humming a little song to herself. As you approach, you see her stand up straighter and rub her back. Now that you know, it's clear she's pregnant. You wonder how you didn't catch on before Vertimnalia. It's still mind-blowing that she's going to have a baby. The first child born from someone who was themselves born in space. It's hard to believe she's only 1 year older than you. Little Tammy, who cries when toys break and is scared to leave the walls, she's going to be a mom. Tammy looks up at you as you approach and smiles. Hello, Sabote. It's so nice out today, don't you think? She always thinks it's a nice day, even when it's pouring rain. Must be nice to be so cheerful all the time. You look beautiful. She smiles and goes a pretty shade of pink. Thank you, Sabote. That's so sweet. She does seem more centered and confident than you've ever known her to be. It radiates off of her like a warm, glowing sun. When Lum had her up on stage, embarrassed in front of the whole colony, you kept thinking, wow, Tammy's really a grown-up now. She leans on her broom with a dreamy smile. Yeah, 1 year older, but, you know, and changed, 19. I thought about it for a long time, and I talked to Aunt Anne and Dr. Instance. I've always known I wanted children. Lots of them, so why not get started now? Aunt Anne and I are going to run the new creche, so I'll have plenty of help raising them the same way I was raised. I might not be the strongest or smartest person in the colony, but I'm going to be the best mom. I know I can do this. Do you ever want kids, Sabote? Nah, I'm good. That's okay, Sabote. It's not for everyone. I'm sure you'd make a wonderful explorer or engineer or whatever you set your mind on. Oh, thank God she didn't say that I'd change my mind. She goes back to sweeping the stoop, adding little snippets of lyrics to her made-up song. Okay, let's... Hey, we've got a swamp to explore, so let's do that. Hunt in the swamps. What is this? This is animals, combat. I don't want friendship with Vase. Let's see. I haven't done this before. This is new to me. You look down at the drone rifles in your hands. This is the big leagues. Finally, you're going to get out there and take the fight to the enemy. No messing around out there, Security Chief Rhett says. These animals are dangerous. They want to kill you, probably as much as you want to kill them. Your job's to get to them first. Utopia sighs. And by no messing around, he means don't you go taking risks, she says. As head of expeditions, she's technically in charge of you in the field, though Red is the one who molded you for this. There'll always be animals out there, but you're a lot harder to replace. If you take down anything edible, tag it for reclamation so we can bring it back to colony. Base is practically humming with excitement beside you. Rat pairs you up to head out together and Face sighs. I don't need a buddy. No offense, Sabote, but you'll only hold me back. Dude, if I can shoot you, I will. Rhett shapes his head. You two are a good match, he insists. I want you to watch each other's backs out there. Stay within transceiver range of each other at all times. You might not always be able to reach the colony or Utopia, but you'll have each other. Never engage the enemy alone. I won't let you down. You guess if Security Chief Rhett says you need to have a buddy, Vase isn't a bad choice. He's handy with a rifle, at least. Rhett takes off on his glider and Vase turns to you. You better keep up with me. We might be stuck together, but that doesn't mean I need your help. I'm gonna get all the kills and all the kudos, so just let me do all the work and stay out of my way. The subaqueous swamps are especially dangerous, Utopia says. Something in the air makes the beasts here all kinds of fickle. Could be the storms, but normally docile creatures are a mite more aggressive. To be perfectly straight with you, there's some darn scary things out here in the swamps. I don't much love that we're sending you kids out into a literal war zone. I've been to the swamps for all this war business, and it's a beautiful place even if it is real spooky. Hurts my heart to see soldiers tromping all over it. But I know teenagers can be just as capable as adults when it comes to surveying and hunting. You've got faster reflexes and stronger stamina than a lot of these old codgers. Just trying to take any stupid risks out there, okay? Promise your honorary auntie? Face scoffs. You're not my aunt, and I don't need a coward telling me what I'm capable of. I will be the one to shoot you. Like, I hope that something tragic happens to Vase. And we get to skip these, but I'm gonna hit them. These are all new events for us. The swamp is flooded here, and water has risen to almost completely cover the trees. The islands you make your way across are actually the tops of giant mushroom-topped trees, barely rising out of the marsh. The water is clearer than usual, so you can see down through the underwater canopy to the jungle beneath the surface. You think it's just marvelous to peer down at the underwater forest, but Face is antsy and looking for something to fight. He scouts on ahead. You're hurrying to catch up when several muck walkers come flopping out in front of you. They're twice as long as you are tall, smacking and slithering in your direction with hundreds of little fins. The creatures are slow and clumsy out of the water, but it doesn't really matter when you're that big. Guess we're gonna fight. Yeah, tragic. Yeah, right? Okay. Just loading up some numbers. And we'll do this with a flush. Is that combat? Okay. In their clumsiness, the Muckwalkers seem more likely to crush or drown you than actually eat you. Assuming that's what they're trying to do, it's hard to tell. You kill one and the other slithers off. Face shows up just as you finish it off. Oh, you have all the fun. Electrical storms can be a real danger when you're slogging through the swamps, and not just because of the obvious. Something in the frisson of electricity in the air draws previously unseen creatures to the surface, their behavior strange and unknown. Something like a giant electric eel has surfaced here, and it's lifting a long antenna out of the water. Looks as if it's trying to attract lightning. Maybe we should give it what it wants, Face says, pulling on a pair of stun gloves and grinning sadistically. Yeah, go ahead, see what happens. The creature harmlessly absorbs the electricity from Face's gloves. In fact, it seems to absorb it with a satisfied look on its wide, fish-like face. Then it shoots electricity back at you. I was hoping it would shoot it at Face. Look at all this. Look at all this. I don't even care about setting up friggin' straights when I just load on the numbers. But I still got a 456. Look at that. You kill it, you think? It sinks into the water, but there's no trophy or even proof you did it. Face pouts and pulls off his stun gloves. Ooh, a bush bub. There's a different variety of bush bub here in the swamps. Slimy, smooth-featured, and gloopy like the rest of the foliage. They seem just as slow but suspiciously intelligent as... They seem just as slow but suspicious... Oh my god! They seem just as slow but suspiciously intelligent as their dry biome cousins. You come across one of their little shrines and find their well-worn paths in the loamy soil. When you're inspecting the shrine, you hear a blurbling, groaning noise, and Face smacks you with the butt of his rifle to get your attention. Barreling down at you from different directions on the path are two goop-faced bushbub sentries, calling out to attack each other as if they'd been lying in wait. They attack. These are always like 3-stage challenges, like with a time. Why are you like this? Good, super cool. You kill one and the other runs off. Well, sort of. You've never seen an animal move quite like this, like an ambulatory sack of oatmeal. Analyze the corpse. A little more stress. +1 animals. Face size as you kneel down to take a closer look at the goopy bush bub. This must be some subspecies of bush bub that doesn't appear in your Holopalm's bestiary. Its rock-like skin is much thinner and slimy, and its branches don't look like they've ever had leaves on them. You cut it open and its organs just don't make sense. They're just jumbled in there willy-nilly. You can't even figure out how this creature would digest food. Maybe it's a genetic abomination, but there were 2 of them. You and Vase are walking down a path made by some creature, probably bush bubs. They like to make paths. What you find, though, isn't a bush bub. It's a snap bladder, a much more aggressive foe. You've seen nests of the thing, squirming around and crying out, trying to lure people into their hungry mouths. But this one's on the move. It's crawling across the path. Slowly. From its round, lumpy form, you wonder if it's pregnant. These things are a danger to surveyors, and could potentially kill someone who fell into a brooding nest. They swell up so huge they can't move anymore, and instead half bury themselves and lie in wait for prey to come too close. You take this one, Face says, gesturing to the lumbering beast. It looks like your speed. Yeah, I'll just drop it. Efficient but boring, try being more creative. No, fuck you. There's a manticore. We're about halfway up on stress right now, so let's see if we can find boss events now. Is that a dilly pillar? What is that? That's not a dilly pillar. What is this? Peter, what is this? A Unisaur has been following you and Vase from a distance. You see it now and then out of the corner of your eye. It doesn't seem aggressive and looks recently fed, so it isn't hunting you for food. This is pretty unusual behavior for such a normally skittish creature. I'll befriend it. It doesn't act like a wild animal at all, more like an algorithm. It's not interested in your food, your soft cooing, nothing you can offer. It's unnerving and strange. It continues to back off and keep a precise distance from you and Vase. When it sees you paying attention, it backs off further, then comes back to observe you. That's it. I've had enough of this. The presence of danger seems to unlock new subroutine in the Unisaur's instinct. It charges you. Fucking dumbass. Actually, no. Get that 10. All cards to the right become blue. Save that, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. All cards to the right become blue. It doesn't even defend itself. Bizarre. You and Vase kill it, and it dies just like any perfectly ordinary Unisaur. Too bad their meat's toxic to humans. An hour later, you notice a muckwalker watching you from the water. It dives back under when you point it out to Vase, but a few minutes later, it's back again. I'm sick of being spied on. He stomps over to the swamp edge, splashing up mud and brackish water. You think back to the monitoring system you found in the ridges with Dis, where you saw through a creature's eyes. Vase might be more right than he knows. Okay. Oh my god, this area is huge. It's also my first time in it, and like any space seems larger with unfamiliarity. Right, like imagine, like think back to your first time in a house when you were younger. I remember in my grandparents' house when they first moved in, thinking of all the possibilities of like hide and seek. And then after a couple months, it was just like, yeah, it's a house-sized house. It's like fine. It's not particularly large. It's just got a couple interesting things. There's something suspiciously regular about this clearing. Something that doesn't feel natural. There's something here. I can feel it, Face mutters. We're not leaving until we figure it out. Don't even think about dragging me down like you always do. Fine, if that's how he wants to play this. You split up and walk to opposite sides of the strange clearing to investigate. The muck sand is so even here, like it was smoothed by a giant spatula or vibrated from below to settle perfectly level. You turn to see if Vase has any ideas. Wait, where'd Vase go? He's gone? You jog over where you last saw him and discover that the ground drops away here to reveal a perfectly person-sized hole. His backpack lies nearby. It must be inside. You call down to him and hear the distorted echo of his voice calling back to you. He's found something. You crawl in after him. The tunnel drops steeply and is longer and more narrow than you're quite honestly comfortable with. You're relieved when you finally pull yourself through to a large cavern. He helps you to a feet with a haunted expression, and you rise to see. Floating in a huge vat of glowing water is a faceless. The vat, like a specimen jar, but massive, is walled on all sides by organic-looking crystal growths. Some transparent so you can see the abomination growing inside. The water inside undulates gently, throwing patterns of light on the cavern ceiling. Lights blink on control panels recessed into the walls nearby. What the hell is this place? Vase mutters, taking a step toward the vat. Is that thing alive? Did someone make it? I don't want him knowing about the gardeners and all that shit, because then he'll declare war on that. Oh, do I have to kill Vase in order to keep the secret? Oh. As he steps closer, the faceless inside the vat turns to perceive you. Its tentacles press against the transparent crystal glass, sensing you. You watch as its tentacles stick to the glass, flexing, undulating, extending, its great body distancing from the glass until... Oh no. Crack. The faceless slams itself against the inside of the vat, and you hear an ominous cracking noise. You and Vase stand frozen in horror, with your only way out being a slow crawl through the belly of the soil behind you. You're trapped. Crack. Crack. Water spurts out from the crack. First one jet, then two more, then five. Then the whole enclosure buckles and splinters all at once. You and Vase are pelted with crystal shrapnel, then unceremoniously knocked to the ground by a literal wall of water. You slam into the cavern wall and black out for just a few seconds, coming back to find yourself still sputtering and flailing as the water quickly drains away into grates in the floor. The whole room shakes with an ear-splitting roar. The faceless is loose. "Sabote!" he calls out to you. "Get up and run!" You blink, trying to force your vision to resolve. Vase stands in front of you, his rifle drawn. And beyond Vase, the faceless. Do it, leave him to die. I want to. I want to. You blink, trying to force your vision to resolve. Yeah, its gargantuan form can barely fit in this cavern. Its fleshy tentacles press up against the ceiling, and its tree trunk legs are stuffed awkwardly beneath it, like a poorly made stuffed animal. Its entire body looks saggy, runny almost, like it wasn't entirely done baking in there. It roars again, flecking you both with spittle and vat fluids. Vase gestures towards the hole. "Go on, I'll hold it off!" You struggle to your feet, the movement making your head pulse and a swell of nausea rise in your stomach. You must have cracked yourself real good on the wall. "I said get out of my way, Sabote. This one's mine." The hole is right behind you, and Vase seems determined to throw himself at something really heroic. You could take the chance to flee, or run for the tunnel. You crawl into the narrow tunnel, leaving Vase to face it alone. From the other end of the cavern, Vase hollers and pulls at its attention. The faceless roars, dislodging pebbles onto your head, and takes off after him. Vase never stood a chance. The faceless crushes Vase easily, then proceeds to bat his unconscious body around like a toy. It hurts just to watch. I thought I ran away! When it eventually loses interest and retreats farther into the cave, you sneak out and drag Vase to the safety of the tunnel, trying not to look at the raw stump where his mechanical arm used to be. He comes to, groans, and grabs his crushed ribs. "Almost got it," he gasps. You look at your drone rifle, then at the terrifying Xeno. It stomps around the shards of its broken bat and lets out another ferocious roar. You could just leave it here and come back with a better plan. Or you could attack it alone. After seeing what it did to Vase, that'd probably be suicide. Like, actually, for real, a stupidly dangerous thing to even attempt. You could die. But imagine the praise you'd get, beating a faceless in one-on-one combat after Vase failed, too. So impossible isn't as... We've done an impossible before. We have so many items. Let's do it. Goal 104. Okay. Redraw that hand. That's a shitty hand. +5 on the third stage of challenges. Great. No, we don't want that. There we go. Cool. Next round. +6 if this has the highest value. No. Excuse me. 4, 5, 6. No, we're keeping that one. We're keeping that one. Oh my god. This is so bad. I keep drawing ones. I want to keep that 6, though. If I do this, then I'm left with 57, which I can do. God, card becomes red right in the middle. Fucks me so bad. What was this? Yeah, no. That way around. Okay, let's try it. 57. Okay, third stage of challenges. Good. Card to the right becomes 5. But also switch it to red. Switch that to red as well. Now we just need a +2 somewhere. Shit, not there. Fuck. There. Against all odds, you render. Against all odds, kill a faceless. Against all odds, you render the faceless back into a chaotic pile of half-formed, grotesque body parts. It groans and slumps to the ground, leaking guts and foul fluids everywhere. You stare at it in shock. The destruction of the colony is so close to your memories that you can't help but feel a sense of dream, even just looking at the corpse of a faceless. You turn back to Vase, who's fallen unconscious again, and scan him with your holopalm. He's in bad shape, but stable. You can freely explore the facility now. Yeah, it's my second time I've done an impossible challenge this game. You hear motion coming down the tunnel behind you and raise your drone rifle again. Security Chief Rhett, Utopia, and a medic team emerge from the tunnel, and you lower your rifle in relief. The medic team goes to check on Vase. Rhett looks around the facility, while Utopia takes one look at the faceless and pulls you into a hug. "You doing okay, sweets?" she says, checking you over. "Your vitals are looking pretty scary there. We came to get you some backup, but looks like you did just fine yourselves. Look at that thing." "This is an incredible find," Rhett says, looking around in amazement. The facility is very, very old. So ancient that some of the equipment is buried under stalagmites, but obviously parts of it are still in use. We knew there were alien ruins on Vertumnia and that some were still powered, but this one's functional. It looks like an active cloning facility. The medic team finishes reviving Vase, loading him with enough painkillers to make it home. As they load him onto a gurney, he mumbles, "Good work, partner." Fuck. No, I didn't want all of them to see this stuff. You explore the rest of the ancient facility. At the far end is a ramp up to a gigantic door, presumably the exit the Faceless would use. There are more rows of cloning tanks of various sizes and states of collapse. The abomination trashed them in its death throes, and the blinking lights are all off now. Even the water in them is beginning to lose its glow. In one tank, you see what might have eventually grown into another Faceless. You sweep your flashlight over its lumpy, misshapen form, like an embryo, but big as a person. Utopia calls in a team of surveyors to document everything. Then Rhett sets explosives all throughout the place. "What explosives do we have left?" When you've returned to the surface, he detonates them. You watch the strange clearing swell, then slump inward, forming a depression that'll probably, in time, be a lake. All that and you get a +1. You could have left. My option... Well, I tried to leave on my own, and Vase was unconscious. And then my options were take Vase with me and leave, or fight it. And I'm like, if Vase is going to live anyway, I may as well fight it. Rhett pulls you aside and puts a heavy hand on your shoulder. "Good work," he says, and who knows how many lives you saved today. "But listen, we aren't going to talk about this place. Not yet. We suspect this alien tech has just been running on autopilot since its creators left millennia ago. But even so, not everyone's ready to hear about this." Good kid. Alright, alright. Rhett's on the level. Let's go home. That was the boss event. It is... Oh my god, it is after 1:30 and there's still almost half the year left to go. Late dust. What have we got? Is Cal mad at me for going on a hunting exposition now? In this game, I think it's better to roll even with the mistakes. There will be other lives. Yeah, that's generally my thought too. The only time that I did the reload was that one with Tang. Cal's taking a break in the shelter of the geoponics dome. As you approach, you see him tossing crumbs from his lunch into an area of uncleared scrub, and you get closer as you recognize the glinting of a Hopeye's iconic four eyes. Shh, this one's got a little clutch of baby hop kitties somewhere. I've almost got to trust so she'll show me back to her nest, and then I can move them outside the walls. Okay. Anyone else chatting? Anyone else chatting? Hey, Anemone. Okay. I know there's stuff I can do there, but I think I'll focus on that on another playthrough. Oh, we were saying, bravery with the, photophoner. It's mostly creativity, though. Screw it, let's do it. That was... We get a month to do that afterward. Yeah, there's basically nothing else narration-wise in there, so... 8. I love how we get a Super Bowl win when I checkerboard the colors anyway. +6 creativity. So we'll do something the next couple months, and then we'll do a relaxed month before we go into glow. Let's just do stuff real quick. Reasoning. Give me something with a lot of reasoning. What do we do? Biology, empathy is not bad. Engineering, creativity, plus the reasoning. Here we go. Today you're tutoring Nougat and a couple of younger kids in ancient Earth geography. Cool. Okay, so we've got older art for Nougat before she was basically just a toddler. They're learning the names of the countries by pointing them on maps and saying a few facts about them. It seems kind of pointless to memorize these... Oh my god. I'm gonna have a stroke. It seems kind of pointless to memorize places that these kids will never see, but it's not like you can teach them much about Vertumnan geography yet. You're still discovering it. Billions of people, Nougat says, skeptically squinting at a hollow projection of Earth. How'd they fit everybody into one little planet with all the trees and animals and stuff? Is it like one big colony? I'm gonna tell you the sad truth, so that hopefully she's like, oh no, that's terrible, and sees what's happening here. But that's a lot more confidence than I have in humans right now. You give Nougat the little kid version of the truth that you learned as a kid. You tell her that life on Earth was brutal and hard. Humanity destroyed the environment and fought over what was left. There were no trees or animals left. Not as many as there should have been anyway. Most people were poor, hungry, and sick, and the ones who weren't kept all the nice things for themselves. At least your parents were lucky to escape on the stratospheric, and you were lucky to be born on it. You're all lucky to be here now. No matter what, at least Vertumna isn't Earth. Not yet. Nougat looks bewildered. She doesn't really watch holovids, only the cheerful ones for kids that don't address Earth's decline, so she had no idea. But they still had really, really tall buildings, right, to fit all the people? You saw, you didn't tell her. They did. And she nods in satisfaction and goes back to her schoolwork. Let's see here. Can we... Yeah, that makes sense. What if... Cool. Reasoning is almost maxed. Well, I can't see what it is. You know, I can't see what the base value is, unfortunately. Maybe we just do that again for reasoning purposes? And try to really get that up there. Just making sure that there's nobody who wants to talk. Oh, cute! Yeah, let's do one more of that. Try to get our reasoning all the way up. Tammy needs some more help with statistics. You spend a whole month trying to teach her the math, going all the way back to numeracy basics you learned when you were kids, but she's so anxious about screwing up that she forgets simple things like how to add more than 2 numbers together. It's so frustrating, but you can't show it because even if you do, Tammy only gets more upset and makes even more mistakes. Let's see here. +1 skill. Another +1 skill on Blue Challenge win. Let's go! Oh, interesting. There we go. No! Oh, I didn't realize that I... Oh. Oops. Got that away from a super goal. Okay, let's relax somewhere. Let's relax in the geoponic domes. See if we can train our Hop-Eye even more. And And then it's time for glow, and then we end the stream. Relax in the park. You and Cal go for a walk with your Hop Solo. Cal loves the little creature, and they love him right back. They must instinctively know that Cal is a safe person. We should take Hop Solo to go see Socks, Cal says. I haven't visited her today yet. I hope she's not missing me. You can feel your Hop starting to trust you more. They're still pretty skittish, and you don't want to see what those claws on the end of their foot can do, but they seem a lot more relaxed in your presence. You're petting it when it starts to chitter at you in agitation. Whoops, what's wrong, Hop Solo? It flops onto its back and wiggles, its lighter stomach fur looking impossibly soft and enticing. Do you dare? Or is it a trap? Animals challenge! Oh. Oh, up, 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 up. Oh, damn. Okay, a bunch of 4s. 4, 4, 4. Good enough. Boom. You're too smart to fall for this trick. After a few moments, Hop Solo seems to lose interest. They spot a bug circling lazily overhead and flip back over onto their foot, chittering as they begin to track it with their 4 blinking eyes. Cool. Less stress gain, better pair bonus. You're playing with Hop Solo in the park when you hear a rustle from a nearby bush. Curious, you look underneath. It's the Hop you met before. Hop Solo lets out a happy trill of recognition. The other Hop trills as well, and explodes out from under the bush to bounce happily around Hop Solo. They chitter excitedly at each other, and you hear something else is making noise. You look under the bush and see, oh stars, 5 baby Hop pink and hairless, curled up together in the shade. The strange adult Hop stops what it's doing and bounds over to you, warning you with a rattling hiss. No, +1 to physical. Let's let that stand. Doot. And +2 to a red card to the right, which that does count for. 6, 7, 8. There we go. Oh, wow. I went from Hop 1 to Hop 3 in one single rest period. That was cool. You managed to calm down the Hop using tricks you learned from training Hop Solo. They cautiously allow you to pet them, their giant frog eyes blinking out of sync. Spend some time gazing in awe at the little Hop nest. They're so small and helpless. No wonder the Hop wanted to protect them. Those are both fine, I think. Alright. We're in Glow. What do people think we should do in Glow? We can be tutoring. The anti-stress combo, yeah, it's wonderful. Brace for impact, right? Tell me about it. I think we do tutoring. We get our reasoning all the way up to 100, and then that way we're around the kids when the attack happens, so that we can help to reassure them. Nomi needs help studying for their physics class. They have this idea that they want to be an engineer when they grow up because they like robots and holograms, but they have trouble actually learning any engineering. Nomi pulls up a practice test on their holopalm. The Earth textbooks are full of this kind of dull rote learning, useful only for finding gaps in your knowledge. For Nomi, though, that gap seems to be everything. Oh, I'm hopeless at this, they exclaim, tugging on the ends of their asymmetrical haircut. I love Nomi's haircut. Holy crow. There's just so many numbers and formulas. I didn't know there was going to be so much math in engineering. And I have to figure out what I'm going to do for my project, they continue. I want to go to Chatbot Sabote next week. How am I going to get there from here? Well, let's take a look at this test. Only 20% correct. Oh no. Some of their answers are embarrassingly super wrong, too. Nomi's final project is due next week, and you have to crunch a whole course load of info into their head and leave them enough time to write their bot? Can you do it? Oh, they had their birthday at some point. Alright, no problem. Nomi doesn't have a head for numbers, but they can take anything and turn it into a story, so you just have to apply that to the study of engineering. You encourage them to think of it in a different way. Yeah, there's a lot of rote memorization at first, but once you understand the basics, engineering's all about creative thinking. You teach Nomi how these practice tests are built like a story. There are clues in the questions that can help you solve them. Reading ahead can give you hints of the answers of earlier ones. With that, and a few mnemonics, Nomi starts getting better results on their practice tests. Thanks for helping, Sabote, they say. Let's be honest though, I'm doing okay on these practice tests, but being able to pass one standardized test doesn't mean I'll be a good engineer. You protest that this toolbox of skills will help them with any engineering problem, but they just shrug and smile. I'm gonna try some other things, they say. Maybe there's something I'm naturally good at. Cool. Just go all blue, baby. And that's reasoning maxed out. +1 to mental increases. You're just putting your boots on to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. Ugh, they couldn't have waited till you ate dinner. Rude. Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. You holopalm chimes with the usual reminder for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. We'll join the defense. You head to the garrison to grab a plas rifle, then report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with Anemone and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've seen in one place, ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping towards the colony with a single-minded determination. The air fills with the phew, phew of laser turrets and crackle of plas rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos, just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies, wave after wave, crawling over the corpses until they roil at the base of the walls like the foam on a wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There is no sun to set in glow, but night falls on the battlefield without... Holy shit, I get a -5 to stress. But night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your plas rifle. Finally, you're relieved by the second guard shift. You walk straight into the garrison and right into a dreamless sleep. You're awoken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchens have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot blep tea, which you grab, then make your way back to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your holopalm lights up with a priority message. Security personnel, we're under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break a city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on, 6 off. So long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days, weeks even. Weeks? Everyone exchanges exhausted looks. He pauses, then adds, we can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere. You and the other soldiers fall into a fitful rhythm, alternating shifts on the wall with brief snippets of sleep. Gunfire becomes the soundtrack of your days, which begin to smear together like paste. Anemone, in particular, is suffering. She volunteers for relief shifts, sometimes pulling doubles or triples on the wall. You catch her mechanically shoveling soy porridge into her mouth before seeming to fall asleep sitting up. A minute later, she jolts awake as someone's spoon clatters against their bowl. Tempers grow short as fatigue sets in. 6 days pass. You're on shift, watching the Xenos batter themselves against the walls. You feel your eyes unfocused at the sheer formless horde of them. In all these days, they still haven't breached the colony. Sometimes they even seem to retreat, ebbing backwards and reforming somewhere else. It's behavior you've never seen before. A group of monsters breaks through the tree line. Nothing new except for one of them. One of the Xenos looks different from the others. Almost humanoid. What is that thing? The creature looks suspiciously like a person, at least from the waist up. Down below, it's a lumbering chimera vaguely reminiscent of a faceless, wrapped in tattered bits of flesh and bony protrusions. Something like hair flutters behind it as it turns and looks right at you with an unnerving, malevolent intelligence. You rub your eyes. Yeah, it's still there. It approaches to the base of the wall, and the other monsters surge forward on to pound against the gates. Go to hell, Noctilucent, from a past life. I don't remember getting a name of it from a past life, but I have been told that Noctilucent exists. You remember its name, their name. A gardener, part of an ancient alien defense system, one that doesn't know when to stop. They look at you in surprise and seem as if they're going to approach the wall and say something. Then Anemone puts a bullet through their chest. Noctilucent reels and falls back into the crowd of monsters. What the hell was that? Anemone demands, then covers her eyes with her hand. Oh, unless Noctilucent spoke up on the previous one. I forget. It's got a gun. Never mind. I don't even want to know. The siege better end soon. I'm starting to see shit, Sabote. I swear that thing had a face. Finally, after the 6th day of your siege, you look down the sights of your plasma rifle and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. As you gather with the other soldiers in the colony square, your holopalm lights up with a priority announcement from Governor Loom. Obligatory fuck this guy. The alien attackers have been defeated, he says. The siege has ended. He smiles broadly and puffs out his chest. Another year, another win. You're welcome, Vertumna. You're welcome, humanity. You're welcome, you hear and see Chief Rhett nearby looking livid. What did he do? He runs to his security officers. Race out there like an idiot with his honor guards, defend strategically unsound positions, put himself in danger so we had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. The soldiers are exhausted from the siege, so the crowd in the square disperses quickly. Only a few Helios remain, covertly filming Rhett while he continues to rail against Loom. On the horizon, the first rays of quiet streak the sky with lavender. You watch Utopia's reclamation crew head out through the gates to begin vaporizing Xeno courses for their component molecules. That night, you have terrible dreams. You imagine that you're sieging the colony, that you're a creature crawling in the mud on your belly, the ozone crackle of plasma rifle fire arcing overhead. With your talon claws, you rip into the walls like they're made of clay, stuffing choking handfuls of it into your mouth. In a moment of lucidity, you try to pull the clay from your throat, but no matter how hard you pull, it just never ends. You jolt awake when you realize you've been pulling your own guts out of your throat. Hopefully, metaphorically, just a dream. You're shaking and coated in a film of terror sweat, your heart pounding. You don't find sleep again before dawnbreak. Well, that happened. Anyway, that's the stream, guys. Hope you had fun. Plus one to mental increases from reasoning. Hooray. Even though organizing is the only thing that still needs it.
Roger that. Let's run like hell.
Thank you so much, Kiro Peach, for the follow. I will be playing this again next Sunday. Let me save. Let me do the outro stuff. Overwrite Bunch with Boater. There we go. Alright, I was going to keep it on this, but that music gets loud, so let me just hit quit. Oh, and the Hydrate Redemption. Thank you. I could use that, because, God, my jaw feels like it's locking up from all the tongue twisters. That's going to do it for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I apologize that the stream went so long. We did 2 years of this game. When we turned 16, I thought that was going to be a big year, and it went an hour and a half. When we turned 17, that was a 2.5 hour year. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Normally, this is a 2-hour stream, 10 to 12, and obviously, time's a little whatever because we're trying to go full year increments here. The entire thing will be at youtube.com/boaterbug. youtube.com/boaterbug when it's all done. But for now, next Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, make sure that you drop in to see us with the next year. But for now, we're going to raid over to someone that I met from St. Jude Play Live that I met at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital's summit last year. This is Comey. Comey is absolutely wonderful, and they're currently playing Final Fantasy XIV online. So we're going to head over to the raid. There is a new Jade Empire that comes out on Tuesday. These VODs will start posting probably in a couple weeks in the lead up to the last one, I think. But check back Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern, for even more of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Huge thank you to Kuro Peach for dropping in with the new follow. It's always wonderful to have a new viewer. To Ditzy, Shady, Spyro, and Griff Kuba, all of you, thank you very much for dropping by and saying hi as before. And I'm going to head out. I'm going to have a little bit more to eat, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I hope you guys do. I hope you guys do too. I'm also going to give my mouth a rest. It's been doing too much. I can't do this anymore. What's going on? Okay, bye.
It on because
Changed
I like
their
involing
partnership.
that monk hit because it hurts way more, and covering the third target is much easier on healers.
Gotcha.
In PF, I think they usually invul this P-Weapons triple tank buster and big hit after, but it's really hard to cover it all because you have to mitigate the first hit, and then you can invul the last two and the big hit after.